Ta-da! Hello, hello. Good evening. Thank you for... Whoa, okay. Goodbye. I'm gone. Thank you for the pat. Honestly, I don't know exactly what my computer is doing, aside from probably, like, being annoyed at me still not having tried to open it up and clean it, because, oh my god, everything is dying. And I sat here, I think, for full 10 minutes when I opened up, like, OBS and the game and Steam and YouTube Studio and everything I need, right? And my memory was at 100% and everything was lagging and I couldn't see my mouse anymore, and I was like, okay. Mind you, I did not click on all of them at like the same time, like thinking, oh god, I'm opening like 7 programs, obviously it's gonna lag. But no, I opened them like one, and then I waited for that one to actually open up, and then the next one. I don't know what seems to be broken. And then OBS was at like 3 fucking gigabytes of memory usage. I'm like, I'm not even streaming yet. You are on the ending screen, which arguably has like the least amount of stuff on it, since it's just the ending screen. I'm like, what is happening? But anyway, yeah, and then YouTube Studio started flickering on and off, and now I'm just sitting here like, okay, well, let's hope that's not gonna happen during the actual stream. Right. I desperately do need to try and see if cleaning this poor thing is going to help. Because something is deeply wrong. But yeah, here we are. It is a Wednesday. I am feeling better than yesterday, because like Monday evening and yesterday was horrible. But I'm way better. I only have a slight headache. So we don't care. Headache is a headache. Whatever the fuck. So let's see if we can get through episode 4 tonight. I'm assuming that since all of the other episodes were around 3.5-ish hours, then we're going to get through this one in around our usual time as well. And then we can hopefully finish the game tomorrow with episode 5. I want to finally read up on what everyone else has been saying about the game. I want to know! So let's get into it.
Ranger Adams? I thought that the teepee were supposed to be like tents. So why is this one made of wood, huh, Ranger Adams?
Huh, Ranger Adams? Oh yeah, right. We need to deal with some children today, apparently. Pocky little kid raises his hand and tries to jump, spouting off another series of gotcha questions for the infinitieth time today. Pretty sure they're all designed to either make me look bad or make him look better. Either way, I've developed a personal grudge against this 9-year-old.
Well, you see, Ruben, you little bundle of stardust, you. This is a bark house. And if you listened to the other times I told you, I'm sure you would have known that.
Oh! My tightened cheeks wobble as I struggle to keep faking the smile. Don't think it's convincing though. The thumbtack-looking teacher is sipping at his travel mug more often with growing urgency.
Yeah, but Ranger Adams, it looks like a teepee. I'm just saying.
But it is not a teepee.
It's not a teepee.
The teacher leans away from his mug to interrupt, but I don't even give him the chance.
A teepee is made from animal skin. Does this look like animal skin to you? No, it doesn't. It's made of bark, which you can see because you have eyes. Hence the name. You ask such great questions, Ruben. Now someone else give me another one.
Oh boy. Barely managed to hold that one together, but all things considered, not too bad. I'm at least not screaming at children yet. I scan faces of about 20 or so antsy 4th graders. Parent chaperones scold the most, distracted of them with stiff hand motions. Some kids look up at me expecting, waiting. Others have their fingers up their nose. None of them are raising their hands. Except for Ruben. Yet! Actually, one time I was at a children's birthday party. Well, I was also a child at that point in time. but like a neighboring child's birthday party, and we got to ride on camels, which was a crazy experience. Actually, it was really fun, and I think after or maybe before, I don't remember, but there was this little Q&A, probably before, like, oh, what do we know about camels, blah blah blah, and they had the whole thing like, oh, okay, so what do you think do camels keep in their, I don't actually know what they're called, you know, what the fuck is the English word for what a camel has on its back? And then they were like, oh, do you think it's water or do you think it's fat? And I was the only child who didn't raise a hand at it being water. Because I was smart and I knew better than to raise my hand at water, because it doesn't even make sense that they would keep water in it. Anyway. I felt very smart. I don't think I ever was a Reuben, though. I didn't ask questions. I just thought to myself, yeah, I think I know better. Going live while you're at school? Oh no! You don't have like an 8-hour waiting period this time? Where you don't know what to do? Also, hi.
Anyone at all.
Only birds respond. Ranger Adams, say chirp. Tell us about the old villages that were raised to the ground before this replica was built, please. Ranger Adams, tweet, tweet. Oh, it's in 2 hours? Aw, I'm sorry. Reuben is jumping off the ground now. His shirt rolls up as he thrusts his hand into the air and his belly spills over his cargo shorts. I count to 4 like my Jessie mandated counselor told me to do, then release a deep, deep sigh.
Go ahead, Reuben.
Where's the chief? Teacher said he would show us the sweat lodge.
Councilman Trampton got caught up with tribal affairs.
Are we still doing the sweat lodge?
What's a sweat lodge?
Doesn't look like it.
Oh.
Tours aren't really my jurisdiction, but sometimes when the stars decide they want to unalign and throw everything out of orbit, they get handed over to me. I like doing them more than I used to, but usually the hikes or nature trails. The teacher let you go? Nice! But when it comes to the history and culture of the tribes around here, I just feel dirty, out of my depth. It's like killing someone in their home, then buying it up only to turn the place into a haunted maze. Usually someone from the American Indian Council of Mariposa County would be out here, but today these kids get me. With my red hair, freckles, and middle-class upbringing.
Do Indians still live here?
Reuben speaks up again, this time without raising his hands. He points around at the ramshackle buildings and cabins compiled of local flora and bark. They're sturdy, but need to be rebuilt from time to time. To be honest, it's really not all that bad of a question, just not like the mouthful it's coming out of.
This village is just a replica. No Miwok or Awanichi people have lived in the park since the 60s. Even then, most were forced out by the Mariposa Battalion during the gold rush.
A couple parents cough into their face. The teacher tugs at his collar. I mean, the kids do need to learn about this stuff. I'm afraid the schools won't actually teach them, so... It's a miracle things are going normal. She can do her job in peace. Yeah.
Ranger Adams?
Oh, gee, I wonder who voices this random little girl. That voice doesn't sound familiar at all. A fragile girl with pigtails steps up from behind Reuben. Her voice is quiet and meek. If her hair were a few shades lighter, she'd look a lot like Zion.
What is it, sweetie?
What do you mean by forced out?
What do you mean by forced out? Well, you see,
Uh-oh. The teacher's pleading at me with his eyes. Meanwhile, the parents are stabbing me with theirs. Now all the kids, even the ones with low attention spans, are looking to me, their innocent stares underscoring the thick silence. I sniff back the spring allergies.
You kids know what a genocide is?
Real soul, Eve. Real soul.
you kids know what genocide is. No, Teacher Adams, Ranger Adams.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
Okay.
Okay.
Teacher panic laughs and rushes to my side. He punctuates the tour with a clap of his hands.
How about we all go check out the museum?
Oh, come on! It's free education. Yeah? Chapter 4, Eternal Evergreen Part 1. Ooh, I see. So the last two really go together.
On! You can't be eating people's trash.
Okay, I absolutely have to try and play Chapter 5 tomorrow then. Stripping the scarf of his neck, I dragged Pup onto the cabin porch, his paws scratching and sliding on the wooden planks. He's growing so fast I don't even believe it until I try to carry him for myself. There's an old saying that if you pick a calf up every day from the time it's born to the time it's an adult, you'll be able to hoist it up when it's fully grown. Clearly, I missed a few days with Pup. He rolls his head to my arm and nips at my wrist.
Ow! Why, you little...
Well, I mean, to be fair, this is not a dog. The sharp pain dulls as I check my wrist. No major damage, just a scrape etched down my arm. Pup gallops across the field and spins in circles like he has a chance of finding the end of infinity.
I am not having this lack of cooperation.
He sniffs at a dead bird, so decomposed his remaining mass is flattened into the ground. Then he rolls around in it. Ew. It's not like he ever listened to me to begin with, but lately it's felt like he's untamable. He won't dare nip at Zion, but me, Yosemite, and even Yellowstone have gotten snapped at by him recently. He's a sweet boy, but it's almost becoming an issue. I just have to spend more time training him, I guess. Maybe the weekends. Since I started going on regular hikes with Yellowstone and Zion, they've begun feeling a little more open. I can't explain it. It's like a psychological light switch. What? You spending more time with people has made you grow closer to them because you're talking more, you're hanging out more, and you've actually, like, emotionally opened up to each other? You're starting to trust each other? No way! Who would have guessed? But I guess I'm not unhappy to have it flipped on. The sudden crack of shattering glass yelps from inside the cabin. My furrowed brow blocks half of my vision. In less than a second, I'm inside.
Somebody better have a replacement.
At least 100 shards of ceramic and glass are scattered at the base of her feet. The tray she was carrying is upside down and several feet away, water sliding behind it. I go through teapots like some families go through sourdough. Yellowstone doesn't react, not even as much as a hat turn. She stares up at the corner, eyes stretched wide, mouth open. Leaning forward in her chair, Zion's jaw slouched on a table. She's looking at me, but she's staring right through me. Maybe through the wall behind me.
Can someone say something?
Oh god, what's happening? A bolt of energy sizzles from the tip of my head to deep into my calves, deadbolting me to the floor. My entire body is held down by the weight, not because I can't move, but because I know I shouldn't. Yosemite is sitting in lotus over on my bed. Don't know when I gave her permission to do that, but there she is. Her back is turned to me. She faces the window. On the nightstand, a lit candle sways with the breeze that spirals through the cabin. The sweet scent of burning pine is brushed over to me. The candle flickers out.
Girls!
The tension in my body lifts and I'm finally allowed to exhale. There's a moment of clarity, empty stillness, where all the questions I have right now feel like they have obvious answers. But as I inhale, the fog comes rolling back in and I'm as confused as ever.
Yellowstone. I saw it too. What in the Sam Hill was that?
Huh?
I don't know.
Did you see the girl?
What?
Yeah, she was kinda hot.
Hello?
Not what I meant, but I get what you mean.
Zion scrunches up her tiny face. Yellowstone looks at her and she looks at Yellowstone. They both twist their heads and look at me. I've had lots of eyes on me today, but the primary part of my lizard brain is scared enough for me to take a few steps back.
Miss Eve? Did you see that vision too? Like, in your noggin?
Vision? No, nothing like that.
The smoke from the incense is thick. It feels tangible, like I could hop on it and ride it into the ether.
But as soon as I walked in here, I could feel something.
Feel something? Like what?
Tension, fear. I don't know. It just felt oppressive, I guess.
Spooky.
Zion gasps and jumps out of her seat, hovering there for a moment before floating back down.
Yosemite! What about you?
Yosemite doesn't speak. Yosemite doesn't turn around. Yosemite doesn't do anything. She just sits there, back turned, legs still crossed, unflinching, braving whatever little world she's in all by herself.
Yo! Slow-simity! You catching some Z's over there or what?
Slow-simity.
Zan's eyes widen and her mouth stretches into a giant O.
Oh, I get it! That's very clever, Yellowstone. Oh no. Do you not have any headphones with you?
She claps her hands together to congratulate her friend, but Yellowstone is too busy chewing on her nails to bask in it. Whatever they saw must have shaken her. Not to blame her though. Whatever it was I felt has me shook too. It wasn't just a passing feeling like lightheadedness or vertigo. It was something real enough that could bury itself deep under my skin.
You know, I don't think I've ever seen you shut up for this long. What's the deal?
Marching over to my little nook of the cabin, I stepped between Yosemite and the wall. I sat down on her. For the first time since getting to know each other, I feel like the tall one. What? Oh! I mean, to be fair, we've seen the crying sprite the entire time, so I was just waiting for them to address that, but also, hello? Trembling, Yosemite stares up at me, spots of tears dabbing at the corner of her eyes. 6 feet of ego and superiority contorted into a vulnerable wall. Before I can even process what she's feeling or how that makes me feel, she pounces off the bed and wraps her long tree branch arms around me.
Whoa, okay. Forgot you were a hugger, but sure.
Her weight almost drags us both down onto the bed, but my calves are strong enough to keep us anchored to the floor. She tightly clings to my uniform, stretching the fabric as she does the bare minimum to keep herself held up. There's not any sobbing, but the tears are there and I can feel them bleeding through my shirt. The quiet part of me says to push her away and tell her to suck it up, but the louder part of me cuts through all the nastiness and tells me Yosemite is worthy of pity. My hand, awkwardly hovering over the back of her head, goes limp. I stroke her hand till I reach her back, then I just ride out the embrace.
What's wrong with Yosemite?
That's a good question.
Does she know what that was? Cause I don't know Jack Diddley. Tell me what the Jack is, Yosemite! Tell me about the Diddley!
Two of them rush over, not giving a single second of extra thought to the idea of crowding a crying girl.
Oh, no you don't.
Dragging Yosemite's mask with me, I step over to the curtain and slide it closed, cutting off sign on Yellowstone Stampede.
Peel back this veil, Missy! I need answers!
You will get answers!
If you behave. And wait a second.
Yes! This is extremely unfair, Miss Eve.
Yellowstone, seemingly unaware that she has the power to peel back the veil, presses herself against the curtain, the outline of her body coming at us through the fabric like bad 3D effects.
Tough. The adults need to talk.
Ooh! Careful to dodge Yosemite, I kick Yellowstone back using the scent of my foot. She stumbles back, and although I can see it, I hear the crash landing.
We are much older than you, I'll have you know.
Whatever you say, Squirt. Come back to me once you sprout up a few more inches.
Please, you two.
Yosemite manages to choke back her tears long enough to plead with them between sniffles.
Just a few minutes, okay?
The other side of the curtain goes quiet, enough time for Yosemite to take another dance with hysterics as she tries, and fails, to compose herself. Zion floats to the top of the curtain rail to peer down at us. She blows me a ripe, juicy raspberry, then drops back down with a defiant. With those two out of the way, I tug Yosemite back towards the bed and have to shove her onto it to get her to stop clinging to me.
Alright, let's take a few seconds to breathe.
Yosemite nods her head up and down, covering her mouth with her hand like that actually keep me from seeing her tears. Or shame. Whichever makes her the most embarrassed, and I'm positive that one or the other, or both does. I climb into bed with her. The comforter is soft and warm, retaining Yosemite's body heat. We both sink into the bed, the frame struggling beneath our collective weight.
Tell me what happened.
Aww. She nods and takes a steadying breath.
Well, it's hard to put into words. Nearly unexplainable.
And thank you for the braids.
See, honestly, I would have preferred to climb into bed with her, maybe not when she's apparently really shaken up.
But also, yeah, bonding experience.
Just pretend you're smart and have to dumb everything down for me. Should be easy for you.
It's only easy because you're so mediocre.
With a half smile, she thumbs away the last few tears. I take off my hand and plant it on her head, twisting it on hard and tight so it smothers her smug face.
Spill it.
It was like... I experienced things.
Welcome to consciousness.
She tilts back the head. Her eyes pop out from beneath it like a groundhog ready for spring.
I'm serious. Not just sights, but sounds and smells too.
Oh.
I could recount how I was feeling when I laughed at a joke. Complicated instances where things felt bitter and sweet, but still full. Even extremely specific energy. The richness of a moment where you really pay attention to it. Imprints.
So what, like a vision? That's gotten tossed out there already.
I suppose. Although I feel like that implies more disconnect from it. They felt more like...
Chuckling, she rolls her eyes. There's a crack in her voice and I realize she's doing it to keep herself from crying again.
Well, I suppose they felt more like memories, Eve.
Memories?
Thank you for always repeating everything I say. It's very reaffirming.
In my defense, if my defense mechanism is the black comfort of nihilism, then hers is the icy delight of sarcasm. But I think I have an idea of what it's defending her from, and that knowledge makes it harder to blame her.
Are they yours? Pretty sure all three of you saw the same thing. I could feel it as soon as I walked in.
Positive. Every living thing in this park flows through me. I feel it. My perception of being is specific to me. Unique. Did you just say you felt it?
It was just a hunch or something. You were all spaced out. Frankly, I'm jealous of your ability to disassociate.
Why am I getting so defensive? I felt what I felt. In a way, I experienced it as strongly as how Yosemite said she experienced a little episode. It would be so much easier to confront it if I could just pass it off as a fever or food poisoning.
I think you would follow, so good evening.
You must be spending too much time around us.
Reach into the choir.
We both snored, letting the silence take over as we smile at each other. Since our entire friendship is a game of chicken, we hold out to see who breaks first. It's Yosemite. Her eyes touch mine and droop down at the bed sheets. I do the same.
So, are you gonna tell me what you saw?
No avoiding it, huh?
For most people, you absolutely can avoid things. It's easy, but for her, I don't think it is. She always goes for the most difficult option. It's just her ego and inability to admit when she's being an idiot that make it harder than it has to be.
It wasn't just one moment that I experienced. There were multiple moments, and it felt like I was being sucked through all of them. Through time. Languages I could understand at the time, but that seemed completely dead to me now. People I knew and was happy to see, even though I can't pin down who they are.
Her forehead creases with wrinkles and the flow of information slows to a contemplative trickle.
One of them was a girl.
I knew it! I knew we saw the same gal!
Yellowstone's voice booms out like a disruptive firework.
Eavesdropping is supposed to be quiet. You need to be considerate when we're being rude.
Does Yosemite know what genocide is? Arguably, probably yes. Maybe?
All this stuff is giving me the willies. If I don't get them deets, I'm gonna flip.
Keep up the screeching and I will actually give you something to be afraid of.
And I won't stop her.
Ooh. There's immediate silence. Then Zion whispers.
Don't listen to her. We can take her on if we have to.
Oh, okay. Instead of storming through the curtain, I roll my eyes. Your time will come, girls. Your time will come.
Continue.
It's the same as before, really. I couldn't tell you who she was, but I knew her. She was carrying this woven basket. It looked heavy, so I wanted to help. And when she turned around, it was like comfort, relief, and happiness and belonging. Sounding crazy enough for you yet?
Nothing does at this point.
If any barrier she had erected between the two of us was still standing, I'm pretty sure it just got knocked down. She pulls her feet out from the pretzel there and balls her knees close to her chest.
The strangest thing about it was that there was one thing that connected all the scenarios.
Besides yourself?
Your evening!
No, because the through line was that it all took place here in the park. I was present in more ways than one.
Oh yeah, I have a pretty high verification needed before people are allowed to write in my chat. I set that up years ago because of the whole increase of hate rates and blah blah blah, and I took like every single precaution there is, which also sometimes leads to people who genuinely would like to write, but they don't have enough verification. I'm like, oh, yeah, I don't even know where that is in the settings anymore. So, I am just slightly paranoid. As much as I want to be here for Yosemite right now, this is starting to make my head hurt.
And you're sure about that?
As sure as I am about everything else so far.
Groaning, she buries her face in her knees, the rest of her head buried under my head.
If only I could visit. I feel like everything would start to make sense.
Then go visit. It's not like you can't go wherever you want in this park.
The park is you and you're the park. As far as we're aware, no?
It doesn't work like that, you
She nearly stumbles into a casual insult but catches herself.
precious thing.
Not even a good save.
I can only go to places that I know of. Obviously, that's most places here, but occasionally there are areas even I'm not familiar with.
I fake a gasp.
Are you saying the great and wise Yosemite doesn't know everything?
It's a fact that actively irritates me, so don't rub it in. But yes, I'm afraid I don't even know where to start. Which means even after seeing all this, I'm still no better off than I usually am.
The thoughts of despair are as long as they are sharp, and its talons are clutched around Yosemite. It was hard to see when we first met, but it's clear to me now. There's so much she wants to know, but so much is keeping her from it. Mostly knowledge, or the lack of it. No wonder she reads so much.
There's nothing about it in any of those books of yours?
Her head slinks back and forth.
I've read everything I own multiple times. If there were anything helpful, I'd remember.
She's kind of pathetic. Not even kind of, she just is. A far cry from the fearsome spirit that challenged me when I first stationed here. Though I think that version of her never really existed to begin with. Compare her to a tree a lot, but I think it works. At first she seemed tall and mighty, her presence shading the cabin at all times, but with a few slow and powerful swings of an axe she's been chopped down to my size. But when you're way down where I'm at, there's nothing about you that feels powerful. No matter how much wisdom or strength you claim you have, that's how things are when you're this low. And that's why I'm going to help her.
I guess I have no choice then.
I slide off the bed and stretch.
No choice but to do what?
But to take you to the research library.
Oh! It's not a big deal to me, so I let the info slip out casually. But to her, well, let's just say this will be my second good deed for the year.
Research library?
I glance over my shoulder.
Who's repeating whom now?
She crawls across the bed and grabs my suit.
Are you saying such a place exists? You aren't lying just to make me cry, are you?
You have some serious trust issues, man.
Are you?
I start to water again, proving my previous theory about the chopped tree. Though at this point she's looking more like a garden plant.
It's real and it's a perk of the job. Open to researchers and staff.
Hell yeah.
Guess which one I am?
Hell yeah.
Suddenly her eyes are dry, suddenly she's on her feet, and suddenly she's shaking me back and forth.
Why didn't you tell me about this before?
I anchor myself to the ground to minimize the damage from the oncoming whiplash.
Because you keep stealing my credit card to buy used books online. Why would I reward that behavior?
She probably already knows your credit card number, from memory. She doesn't even need to steal it anymore, she just knows it.
If I knew this existed, I wouldn't have had to indulge in your capitalist system to begin with.
You're welcome.
The shaking stops. Her expression goes blank, hopefully from contemplating the selfishness that boils in her at all times. She course corrects and puts on a grin. The selfishness. Did I say selfishness or selfishness? Or whatever. Selfishness. She course corrects and puts on a grin, then swings her arms around me and pulls me in for a hug.
Thank you.
A hug squeezes the air out of me and I'm already realizing I'm so tired.
When are we going?
Let go of me. We can leave as soon as I change out of my uniform. There's a van down by the station we can use.
Oh, I haven't tried my hand at driving before.
Oh no, wait, are you girls actually parking? Oh no, wait, I was joking.
You're not driving.
Before Yosemite can object, Yellowstone zips open the curtain.
Hold your horses! You girls aren't just gonna speed off and leave us in the dark, are ya?
We're just as clueless as you are. If we figure anything out, we'll be sure to let you know.
But, I have questions.
And I don't have answers yet.
Isn't life funny that way?
Try not to lose sleep over it.
Yosemite hums happily to herself as I start for the bathroom. Before I close the door, I hear Zion comfort her friend.
Don't worry, Yellowstone. We can just play Uno instead of thinking.
You know what? Fair. I would also rather play Uno instead of thinking. No.
So, in 1901, Besant and Leadbeater published Thought Forms, a collection of their compiled work that was written from a theosophical perspective discussing the visualization of the emotions and thoughts people experience every day.
Okay, I like those words you're saying. Also, this artwork is gorgeous. I love the car artwork. I mean, I love the one the game started off with. I also like this one. But hey, would you look at that? The girls may actually be parking. A bug spats onto the windshield, one of many that are now caked to the car. I pull down on the lever and cleaning fluid sprays it onto the window. My windshield wipers mostly just spread the mass back and forth. You can actually hear now. Yeah.
This is important because it's part of a wave of expansion in Western esotericism that occurred going into the 20th century, alongside groups such as the Hermetic Order of the Golden Dawn.
Okay. I've been driving so much today. The library's right next to the replica village I was giving the tour at earlier. If all of this had happened before I went in for work, I would have just brought Yosemite with me to save on gas.
But the real big takeaway from it, at least in my opinion, is that in the book, Besant and Leadbeater lay out 3 principles for this philosophy: quality of thought, nature of thought, and definiteness of thought.
Okay. At least it's not too big of a loss. The strife is always why can I not say this word? Therapeutic. Therapist. Therapeutic. Yep. Any drive where forests border me on both sides of the road are, even if this is one of the busiest areas of the park.
There are certain details that I disagree with, but they're the backbone of Dr. Angela Merrick's theory that I've been trying to elaborate on. That being mind creates matter.
Hope those kids are on a bus headed home by this point. Running into them would be sure to bulldoze what's left of my pride after how the tour went. Huh. I wonder if Yellowstone will save some leftovers for us. To be honest, I'm not sure when we're going to be back. We could be out well into the night if we finally leave.
Are you even listening to me?
Yeah. My attention turns from the beauty of Yosemite the park to the poutiness of Yosemite the girl. You'd be surprised with the difference and the similarities.
Not gonna lie, I tuned out everything after Crowley. It's all voodoo to me.
The Lima, actually. But because you're helping me out, I'll let your disrespect slide just this once.
It's not disrespect. I just wasn't listening.
Yosemite stabs me with her eyes, shanking me with hundreds of tiny passive-aggressive daggers. Then she sighs and gives up. Because I win. Always and forever.
So, before I get my hopes up...
Oh my god, you have hopes? Next you're gonna tell me you have dreams, too!
Before I throw you out of this vehicle, what do you think the chances are of us actually finding something of value at this library?
Like 8%, maybe?
It depends on what you're looking for. This isn't exactly a public library, you know. It has records, essays, articles, and a bunch of other things I'm sure only you will find interesting.
Despite the last-second jab at her, Yosemite's knees bounce with her strained excitement as I list off the library's collection.
It sounds like a treasure trove. I won't be sure of what we're looking for until we get there, but now I'm positive we'll find it.
She notices her bouncing knee and slams her fist down on the shin. It stops. She glances at me, looks out the window, then turns to look at me again, then finally commits to the window.
Whatever it is.
What a freak. It's a little fun to watch though. Makes me wonder just what exactly is going on in her head.
You sure do have a fetish for learning, huh?
Fetish? Is there not a single bone, or organ, or tendon in your body that isn't crude? It is a fascination. Understand, you barbarian?
Oh, okay.
Sure.
I do. I understand that she's embarrassed because I hit the nail right on top of his fragile little head. She huffs and puffs like a fussy grandma.
But, yes, if you're actually wondering, I find acquiring new information to be a joy. And the more I can indulge in it, the better.
Valid, actually. I do like learning about things. I had my teasing beneath a cuff.
Fetish.
I despise you! Sometimes.
Sometimes.
You're not exactly a barrel of dandelions either.
She stretches my head over her head until she looks like she's wearing a mask. It's hard to tell for sure with the rushing wind from outside, but I'm almost convinced I can hear the first few syllables of a muffled laugh.
I have my reasons, you know.
Scrolling out of the depths of my head, Yosemite plops her chin down on her fist and gazes out the window. For being a pretentious snob is the first response that zaps through my mind, but I decide to hold off because as much as I love getting under her skin, it's pretty cheap to devalue the things people care about. I know that, or at least I do now.
Your research, right?
Yes, but not only that.
The seat squeaks as she shifts around. She settles on one position, her posture a little stiffer, then decides that's too uncomfortable and slouches. The process repeats itself.
Retaining information is difficult, especially in the long haul. I first noticed it with Zion. Then me, eventually. Memories seemed fuzzier. Details that used to be clear just began slipping away.
It's been about a week since the big blowout between Yosemite and Zion. All Zion wanted was to spend time together at the picnic, but Yosemite let the worst of herself get a hold of her and warped the nice geisha into a test, to see if she could trigger some memories in Zion. The North Guardian Angel was gorgeous, but that's one picnic I don't want to relive.
I noticed it in Yellowstone, too. Sometimes when she's cooking or cleaning or even just playing with Zion, she'll pause. Get this faraway look in her eyes, like she's missing something. I think it happens to all of us at one point or another.
I mean, to be fair, memory loss does happen in a normal person as well. And considering that they've been alive for way longer than the average person would have been, yeah.
It might just come with the territory, with existing. But it feels like a curse.
You sure it's not just existing that's the curse?
It's all perspective, I suppose. Sometimes it sure does feel that way.
Linear thinking. Shh, shh. Warum bist du so aufgestanden? Mau. I was literally about to say, because the cat was sleeping in my bed and he was breathing really loudly. Meow! And now he got up. Now he's awake. What's los? Meow! Waar is dat liegen gebleven? Meow! He's complaining to me as if I woke him up. He didn't have to get up. No one forced him to, and now he's complaining.
But for me, soaking up as much information as I possibly can, about anything, even things that might seem silly or esoteric, is how I cope with it. To make sure I never truly delude myself into thinking the essence of existing is suffering.
That's a good thing.
Because there needs to be more to it than the things that scare me.
Her words are desperate, but she says them with enough conviction for me to know that she repeated this mantra to herself until she ended up believing it. Or at least until she got attached to it.
Color me jealous.
Are you setting up a sarcastic punchline, or is this a segue into genuine admiration for me?
The fact that you think jealousy equates to admiration says more about you than me. But, yeah, I mean it. You have an actual philosophy to live by. A structure of belief that drives you to action. That means you're tenacious, or tenaciously oblivious. Not everyone is so lucky.
We smack a bump in the road. Dangling from the ignition, the keys jingle. I moaned about it to Jessie when I got reassigned, but I wish someone cared enough to do something about the potholes. I wish that person were me.
God, I'm getting secondhand depression just listening to you. Motivations, beliefs. Whatever it is that keeps you diving headfirst into insanity. That isn't something you're either born with or without. Attributing it to luck undermines not only your ability to seek truth, but also the one current that flows through every living and natural thing.
I keep one eye on the road and one eye on Yosemite, waiting for her to follow up. She doesn't. Instead, we just hit another pothole.
Ask what it is. This conversation warrants anticipation.
You're unreal.
Ask me!
She whines. I roll my eyes and validate the spoiled child, then channel my inner Yellowstone.
Hot Skippy, Yosemite! I don't got a clue about the thunk inside your think. Hit me with them deeds!
Please don't ever do that again! Now she gives me the transcendent stare.
It's will. The intention to commit to an action that changes the surrounding environment. Intention. You have to have it when you get a cup of coffee. The Earth absorbs heat unevenly. Thus, it has intention to diffuse the gas via wind. But to act on intention takes will, which means anything with the potential to act, at the very least, shares will.
Is this because I have the different font on, or is this one genuinely longer than the textbook can show?
If something exists, but it actively denies its capacity to change its reality, it's either oblivious to the power of its will, or
She grins at me with smug pity.
it's scared of it.
She sure is devoted to making sure her points are theatrical revelations. Gotcha therapy.
Dang, Yosemite. Your 8th grade pseudo-philosophy stabilized the serotonin in my body for the first time in years. I could feel my bootstraps lifting me into the sky as we speak.
Quit strawmanning me with an adage I didn't even say. I just want you to act on your potential in a positive way. Because right now you're only using it to constipate yourself. With fear, probably anger too.
Wait, shut up. Did you just imply that you have an emotional investment in my long-term happiness?
Yosemite raises her finger to speak, then drops it. Her mouth mindlessly hangs open, frozen in stasis. Her hands fall to her lap, the safest place in the world. She fiddles with her thumbs instead of looking at me.
I do. Yeah.
Oh!
Oh.
Oh!
Thanks, I guess.
While the voice on the inside of my head is busy screaming, I try to admire some of the trees on the side of the road. So textured, so green, so easy to distract myself with as I avoid the reality of Yosemite continuing today's tradition of being vulnerable. It's hard to swallow, because if Yosemite, with all her egotism and but the puns, can make the conscious effort to be truthful about her emotions, then I don't really have any excuse, and that sucks. Which is why I need to offer a way out. Now. Gay. Gay. Homosexual. Gay.
It's just funny you say that, since there are some implications that crop up from that.
Like what?
She doesn't say it with any ironic jowl or guilted pity. Guilted pity. It's plain and curious and genuine and compromises some of my defenses, quite frankly. I grip the steering wheel until the rubber squeaks under my hand.
Well, you know, like how if you believe the potential for will exists in every natural thing, then you're saying people are part of nature, inherently. That's pretty optimistic for you, don't you think?
Eve.
She leans in and adjusts the rearview mirror, shifting it to face me. When she stands, she folds her hands for punctuation. When I look at the mirror, I don't get the privilege of looking out the back window. I get to look at myself. That's not safe for driving. Just saying.
I said what I said.
Mmm. Ooh. Alright.
A blue 5.
They're actually playing Uno.
Let me see.
You know what? I'm a little surprised they actually are playing Uno.
There! 5. And I know you don't have any reds left. You may have to draw. Yellowstone. Stop daydreaming. It's your turn. This is very serious.
Very serious.
Oopsie daisy. Me and my dilly-dallying. Let's see. Red 5.
I like that the entire UI also changes to her yellow, since it's her point of view now.
Well, any other day, this would put me in a real pickle.
What else would they have? I don't know. Maybe they would just go out and play with Pop, or take a nap, or whatever, you know.
But I'm thinking this wild card right here is gonna land me in Uno!
Again? You always save the fancy cards for last. It's extremely unfair.
That's what I usually do when playing Uno as well. One time, actually, when I played with one aunt, she had the specific rule where it's like, okay, like, you do not get to keep wild cards or whatever. Like, if it's the only card you have to play it. So you couldn't save up all of those +4s and whatever for your last card. Like, if it's the only one you can actually play, then you need to put it down. Which, honestly, is stupid. It's more fun if everyone starts throwing in their +4s. Because who even plays according to the official rules of, oh, you cannot put a +4 and a +4? Fuck do I look like? It's only fun if you start putting down a +4 and then suddenly, like, everyone puts another one on until some poor fuck has to pull like 20 cards.
One more round.
Yeah.
Yellowstone, if you don't want to play, I really wish you would come out and say it.
What? No, that's not what's... Golly, I'm sorry, Zion. I just got brainworms squirming around in the old noggin, I guess.
Brainworms? Don't tell me you actually ate one of our mud pies again.
Oh,
Nah, not this time.
not this time. Okay.
It's that memory, dream, vision, whatchamacallit we all had. I can't stop thinking about it. And I'm the best at not thinking about things.
Well, it was a very intense experience. It only makes sense for it to linger with you.
But it's more than that. It was like I was seeing things through some other fella's eyes. Like it wasn't me.
I had a similar feeling. It was such a relief once it was over.
You're telling me. Except, it still kind of feels like I'm there. And then I got to thinking, what if what I saw in the whatchamacallit was the real me, and the me that's here right now is just a phony?
You can't put more than one additional +2 and another +2. That one I don't know about. All I know is apparently according to the official Uno rules, you cannot put a +4 and a +4. But frankly, I think everyone plays Uno a little differently anyway. Like me personally, when you place a +4 down, the other person has to draw, obviously. But they're allowed to immediately place down a card. I think according to the official rules, you also, like, the next person is also not even allowed to put down a card. Like, they have to draw, but they're not even allowed to actually play a round. So, like, me personally, I play with, oh, you can put any of the plus numbers on each other. So if there's a +2 down there, you can also put a +4 on it. And if it is a +4, you can also put another +2 on it, whatever. It's funnier that way.
What if I don't actually exist? What if you, Yosemite, Eve, and this entire park don't exist?
Oh no, let's not go that way, Yellowstone. I don't think that's healthy.
That's real screwed up, Yellowstone.
No! Oh, it's really bumming me out. Everything seemed so solid before. Now it all seems flimsy. Like a thin tater chip you can see through.
Don't be bummed out, Yellowstone. Here, let me draw us another hand and we can talk about it until you feel better.
Really? You do that for me?
Of course. I love you.
Aww.
And besides, existence is extremely strange, especially if it's not something you consider very often.
Is it? Until Evo came along, I always felt like any Jack and Jill you'd see on the hiking trail. Well, minus the condom. But the way she talks about us makes me feel like some kind of goober that shouldn't be real. Like we're something out of a dream.
It's interesting that you mentioned dreams. People have theorized that life is one big dream since people could theorize.
Oh, like that one banger we always jam to. Row, row, row your boat gently down the stream. Merrily, 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 life is but a... Oh.
What is it?
Do you know that fancy word? That one that happens to you when your ticker starts beating real quick and you get so spooked you start sweating and it just keeps going until your brain sort of farts?
The what?
Anxiety?
Zion, I think I have anxiety.
Well, I'm glad you're finding out things about yourself, Yellowstone. Anxiety sucks. Not gonna lie. I hop out of the car and slam the door shut. Yosemite steps out and eases it shut. I don't hear it latch. Parking lot, grey and faded from the elements, bleeds into the replica village. We don't have to go and seek out the library because it's right there, etching into the village's territory like an unwelcomed invader. The Uno went okay. Yellowstone won. She also found out she thinks she has anxiety. The stone archway and kitsch arts and crafts wood paneling don't do much to hide the facade.
Did you lock it?
Yes, Yosemite.
You didn't forget to turn the headlights off, did you?
No, Yosemite.
They're automatic, Yosemite.
Ah, damn it.
Did the engine sound weird to you? Because
You can stop now, Yosemite.
Little things tend to add up, you know.
Yeah, like you're complaining.
Yosemite pouts in huffy silence, mouthing my words and scrunching her face into an impression of me. An overgrown child on an ego trip.
So how long do I have to wear this hat for anyway?
She tilts up the brim of the hat like a wannabe cowboy.
Until those daggers on the sides of your head fall off.
My ears are beautiful!
They are. Actually, I will not stand for beautiful elf ear slander.
And also distracting. We'll have a lot of explaining to do if someone sees them.
She just likes cosplaying. Yeah.
I think everyone else should explain to me why their ears are so round and
I tuck the hat over her eyes and start for the library. She pops back up from underneath the hat.
disrespectful.
She didn't deny they're beautiful, yeah. Just distracting.
You know all about that.
I wait for Yosemite at the door for 5 seconds longer than I'd like. When I turn around to scold her, she's frozen in the middle of the pathway, gazing at the replica village. She doesn't flinch, breathe, or move, as if she's in another trance. Okay, I guess she can have 10 more seconds. I whistle over and pull her back to reality. She shuffles over to me, only looking back once before meeting me at the door. Instead of letting me, an employee of this park in the federal government, do it, she drags the damn thing open herself and barges in.
Museum!
Museum! Yeah! Yosemite's mouth drops in awe as her voice echoes across the giant showroom. Dozens of Native American artifacts, from pottery to woven baskets, are displayed in cases of glass. A handful of people quietly enjoying the exhibit turn to us. My embarrassment is camouflaged by Yosemite's childlike joy.
I'm just going to sneak in real quick and read some of the plaques.
I mean, you don't have to sneak. We are here. Like, we are allowed to be here.
Oh, no, you aren't.
Right? I snag her by the hood of her jacket and pull her down a hallway behind me.
But...
We'd be here all day.
Ah,
We'll
man.
come back another time.
Ah!
One day.
She goes limp, accepting her fate for the time being. I'm sure she'll keep this in her back pocket and guilt me into bringing her back eventually. The hallway is lined with mundane wooden doors, most of which are just offices and break rooms for the staff. One of them is for storage too, if I'm remembering right. At the end of the hall, the last door is held open by a rubber door stopper. A faded plaque hangs on a wall next to it. Yosemite National Park Research Library.
Oh, is this it?
That's right.
I was expecting something more elegant.
Ha!
Seeing the door open, I squeeze through and let it smack Yosemite while it closes.
Ow! Thin ice.
Already melted.
I start to dig into my pocket for my lanyard and identification when a familiar sing-songy voice calls out to me.
Oh, I'm sorry, sweetie, but we aren't open to the public.
Ah. Uh-oh.
Eve?
Sitting at the front desk, Jessie pokes her head out from behind a stack of paperwork, her hat balanced neatly on top of it. Oh, no! Of all people who could be manning the desk today! It had to be someone we didn't want to see Yosemite. Oh, boy. Thank you for the pat and the hydro time. And also the quote.
Jessie, what are you doing here? Cheryl's always here on weekdays.
Well, Cheryl's gotten sick.
Well, Cheryl and some of the museum staff got laid off in the last round of budget cuts, so the upper brass has been exploiting, relying on volunteers more.
That's even worse.
So I thought, what the hey, I'm a registered volunteer, may as well take a vacation day to look after the old place and get some work done.
That's not how you should be spending vacation days, Jessie. Her mouth is saying one thing, but the twitch in her eye is saying something entirely different.
So you're not getting paid for this?
What can I do for you, Eve?
Oh, man. She sounds like she's about to cry. Yosemite looks on in stoic horror.
Your lives sound like nightmares.
Jessie pucks up, staring right through me and at the new shiny new person she can hone her social skills with.
Oh, and who is this? I never see you with someone else, Eve.
I wonder what kind of name Yosemite is going to choose, because I sure hope she's not going to say, "Hi, I'm Yosemite." If only she knew this person was who I've been spending most of my precious time with lately.
Friend from college. She's looking for some reference material before her study gets reviewed.
Yosie! Josie!
A friend, huh? Do you let all your friends wear your hats? Or only the cute ones?
Oh! Jessie! Jessie, no! Jessie, no! No backpedal! Jessie, no! You can't do that! She leans against the desk and wiggles around like a cat about to pounce on its toe. Very amusing, Jessie. Her immediately going for the hat is a little too close for comfort, though. If she'd accept the truth about Yosemite now, it will basically confirm to me that she has a sixth sense.
Whatever you're trying to imply, you should stop.
Boo. You never talk about yourself. What choice do I have but to guess?
Do not.
You could at least tell me her name.
I'm halfway through taking my first breath when Yosemite dives in front of me and snatches Jessie's hand so she can vigorously shake it.
It's a pleasure to meet you. My name is Lilith. If you want, you can put a doctor in front of that on account of my PhD, which I'm very proud of.
Lilith! Alright, Miss Dr. Lilith. Oh my god, the ego in this one. She has a backstory ready and everything. It's a role she's deluded herself into believing she was born to play. Jessie plays into Yosemite's narcissism, and shakes her hand. Whether she actually believes this obvious lie or she's just going along with it to entertain herself, I'm not sure.
Oh, impressive. You keep some interesting company, Eve.
Yeah, she's the salt of the earth.
Well, Lilith, it's nice to meet you too. I'm Eve's supervisor.
Yes, Jessie, I've heard so much about you. Thank you for looking after my tiny friend here. I know she can be a handful most of the time, but I think having positive influences like you has made her life significantly less miserable. Despite her best efforts.
She's really going for it, putting every ounce of her being into the performance. Unfortunately for you, Yosemite, you're not the only one who can use words.
Oh, Lilith. You've changed so much since your days of passing out drunk on the lawns of frat houses, you massive piece of human garbage.
Oh! The room gets quieter than most libraries ever have the privilege of being. Having miscalculated the length of time I would put up with her crap in public, Yosemite's face goes pale.
Damn. I'm not sure how you two haven't killed each other yet.
It's a struggle.
Jessie leans back in the rolling chair, decompressing with a sigh. Eyes are half shut, ready to embrace the sweet gift of a catnap the moment we're out of sight.
So, do you need me to pull out anything specific, or would you rather sift through the whole library?
Again, Yosemite grabs the conversation by the neck before I can even respond.
We'll dig through the whole library. It could mean we're here for a while, though.
That's fine. Just make sure to sign in. I don't know who looks at the sheet, but I'm sure it's important to someone somewhere.
She pushes forward a clipboard with a pen chained to it. I snag it before Yosemite can and lock the time. For the name, I just put Eve Adams and Company. Yosemite takes it after I'm done anyway, then writes down the name of a new persona in the column below. She sticks her nose in the air, but we both know this victory is mine.
Just around this corner, then?
You make it sound simple, but yeah. Let me know if you need anything, girls.
A perfume ad with man kissing. Honestly, though, not the worst of ads you could have gotten, right? Right? That's good. Good evening. How are you?
Good luck!
The cheerful tone ringing in Jessie's voice gives me every reason to be concerned. Too ominous, too knowing. She chooses away with a wave and slides the next form of the leaning tower of bureaucracy. Oh, you got worse, but that one stood out. And I go, yeah, no, absolutely understandable. Backwards perfume, that's gonna be disappointing. Right? Yeah. I'm not a big perfume person, I have to admit. Like, I do like the bottles. Like, I do love how fancy some bottle designs can get with perfumes, but I'm not a perfume wearer. And, like, most of the time, I feel like they're just too much. Like, when you smell them on other people, that just... Most of the time, when you can smell them on people, like, when you don't want to, like, I'm not even close enough to someone, like, when, you know, when someone passes you on the street and you can smell the perfume, like, from miles away. That's what I mostly associate with perfumes, and so I'm not a fan. Are you eating enough fibers? Well, are you eating enough fibers? Everyone hates drinking water, but not anymore. That's not even true. I love drinking water. Just normal. You can actually drink the water straight from the tap here in Germany, and I'm very proud of that because it's very lovely. You can just go take a glass and go to the tap and go, "Ooh, I would like some cold water from the tap." Shiny little trinkets, yes, trinkets. Yeah, but still, I love water. Just good old water. Gets rid of any thirst you might feel. Is tasty, is good, is healthy. The instant we turn the corner, it's horrifyingly apparent why she wished us good luck.
Christ, it's worse than I remember. I assumed this would be a daunting task, but this is unwieldy.
The library is stacked to the ceiling with cardboard boxes, overstuffed folders spilled on the shelves. It's like if Yosemite took her research and sprinkled it across the cabin. How could anyone ever let it get like this? Well, if no one ever bothers with it because no one ever needs it, yeah, everyone's just going to push the few things they might actually take out and then just plop them down wherever. Cool water just rules. It does. It does. Like, it doesn't even have to be ice cold, but just like a normal cool. Yeah. Yeah, ambient temperature cool. Yeah, exactly. Hi, good evening. I take 3 hesitant steps into the eye of the storm. My shoulders brush against a pile of boxes. The top box teeters over and crashes onto the floor, binders and folders and paper scattering across the floor. I sigh and say a prayer for the mercy of death.
Where do we even start?
Well, you should probably just choose one corner and then make your way forward. That's usually how it goes. Or just nuke your stomach. Felt. I wish I liked tea more, but like my stomach doesn't stomach tea very well. And it's like, I mean, it's just leaf water and it's warm, but and I do not put ice cubes into drinks ever because like that just hurts. Mostly my teeth though. Hurts my teeth. Room temperature Gatorade. Not gonna lie though, that like I'm glad for you, but that doesn't sound very appealing. I'm sorry to say this, it doesn't sound very appealing.
Well, Eve.
Somebody bends over and starts gathering up the mess I've made. Not that it's any more recognizable than the bigger mess we're already standing in.
I suppose you'll just have to start on the left, and I'll just have to start on the right.
Honestly, good. Yeah. Yeah.
And then we'll meet in the center.
Oh, Eve, don't be so difficult. For my sake, you can drag yourself further to the right.
Oh, we're getting a lot of swaps this time around. Multiple hours have passed since we entered the library. Whenever I look at the clock, I'm surprised by how late it's gotten. There are no windows in this room, so it's impossible to gauge the time. When we entered, the golden sheen of afternoon was still beating down, but if we left now, I'm sure we'd be greeted by the blue tint of twilight. Not that I want to leave. Despite being at first intimidated by the lack of cohesion here, I've grown to enjoy being in this space. Not because it's especially beautiful or comfortable, after all, it is just an unambitious, sterile. I hate the English language. Building surrounded by far more interesting wilderness. I enjoy it because I'm surrounded by heaps and mountains of information. With so much knowledge of places and people at my disposal, this space has become a watchtower of sorts for me. Only several minutes ago, I finished flipping through a decades-old study on mule deer within the park. When I closed my eyes and pushed my breath, the emotions I was feeling would bloom into images, and I would see a mule deer. Thomas pulling bang, exposing parts of the root. Oh! I hate going to the dentist, actually. Every time I go, they tell me that my gums are extremely sensitive and I need to floss. And I'm like, you guys have been poking around in there with your fancy tools. Of course they're gonna be sensitive. Of course they're gonna be bleeding. How is, oh, you need to floss more going to help? But the fact that you actively poke into the flesh. Also, thank you for the non-antlery and the pet. It would be cautiously glancing around, just within view of the astonishing height of bridal veil fall. When I was sure it was safe, it would raise and peace would wash over it. Bliss of a clean consciousness, uncorrupted by ego. Then I would feel it too, as if I were a deer. It was obvious to me. Deer was existing somewhere in this park. Even now it still does. It was as clear to understand as having an arm, and as easy to believe as you being capable of moving it. That's why this place is a watchtower. It's the same reason why I feel so at home at the cabin, I suppose. Information is documented evidence of existence, and when circled by it, I can experience it all. First person amounts of good dental hygiene. Oh, nice! Getting a compliment by a doctor is always good. You have to get a wisdom tooth removed. Oh no! Oh, I still have all of my wisdom teeth. I never had any problems with them. I'm hoping it stays that way. I think every time you brush your teeth is already good. I remember in elementary school, they would teach you to brush 3 times a day, like morning, after lunch, and then in evenings. So after school, actually, we did have to go and brush our teeth after we got like lunch. That was fascinating because I don't think I know a single adult who still brushes their teeth after lunch. Like, I'm sorry, do I just, like, at work, where I don't even have a lunch break, do I just like, hey, sorry, I need to brush my teeth right now. It gets really cloudy from it.
How you doing over there?
Eve calls out to me. We've both picked our own cramped tables to station ourselves at, her with one stack of pamphlets and books, and me with another.
Stimulated. Nothing has triggered anything quite like that vision yet, but I'm learning tidbits about myself, the park that I didn't know. Also, a lot of this is validating info I already knew, which is invaluable to me, I assure you.
She scoffs and rolls her eyes, which I love. It's the whole reason I play up my snobbery. Her reactions, they fuel me. But also, they reveal so many important things about her. Her fire and her willingness to fight, even if she denies it. The ranger is my friend. I admit that, happily. Offering to help and to take me here so I can learn about the things that plague me most is proof of our friendship. It doesn't matter to me if she feels the same, opposite, or any other way. Whatever is apparent is usually fact.
What are you up to over there? Staying protective, I hope?
She actually admits she's actively playing it up. Yo, Yosemite. No, we talked. We had a heart-to-heart. She did not burn down the entire park and every living being in there. We've actually grown closer as friends. She's been using it to keep washing clothes and stuff, though. Yeah.
Depends on your definition. It's probably nothing that would help you, if that's what you're wondering.
Try me.
I reach my hand out and wait for her to pass off the folder. She groans and with all her willpower and strength rises out of the folding chair. She's my friend, yes, but she still has a natural tendency towards laziness.
I was just starting to get comfortable, too.
Your noble sacrifice is noted.
Instead of handing me the folder, she swats away everything on the table that I was reading and flops it down in front of me.
So, what am I looking at here?
Words. They're a series of structured letters arranged in such a way to communicate information.
I take the folder and try smacking her face with it. She grabs my wrist and pins it back down to the table.
Next time.
Uh-huh. It's a collection of personal journals from folks who were in the Mariposa Battalion.
Brushing up on your Gold Rush history, are we?
It's a kind of national park that features sightings of doomed Yuri. Is it doomed, though? Is it doomed? No, I think it's in the beginning stages of blossoming into endgame Yuri. Washing clothes, eating sandwiches, garbage disposal. Yeah, the usual stuff. You know what you do when you have an active volcano on your hat.
Not really. I was giving a tour of the Awanichi village to some 4th graders earlier today, so it's been on my mind. Was gonna get into the real nitty-gritty of it all when their teacher got in the way. Don't think the parents were too happy with me.
Can't have little ears hearing inconvenient truths.
It was convenient for them in the long run. Convenient for Governor McDougal to give the go-ahead. Convenient for James Savage to lead. Convenient to manifest destiny and benefit from it.
Probably not so convenient for the Awanichi.
Probably not.
It's a stiff silence that follows, and for good reason. These are difficult things to contemplate. Time really isn't that big of a barrier between the past and the present. Old scars may as well be fresh wounds when gone untreated, and much like how I can feel the presence of that mule deer, I can feel those scars. The wrap around me, all of me, is integral to this environment and space as the mountains and trees, unescapable. My memories may fade, but Sora's imprint will always remain. To carry the burden of lingering horror and melancholy is my duty as Yosemite, I fear.
It's hard to find motivation to work here for a lot of reasons. But knowing what people are capable of and why this place is even a park to begin with, that might be the hardest.
Eve doesn't faze me while saying these things. Her chin is down as her eyes. Easier to internalize the results of history rather than to confront her face to face.
Your action is more valuable than your guilt. Do your part by doing something. You've already had this epiphany. Now apply it elsewhere.
My words come out pointed and harsh, as intended. She's too much like me, getting so caught up in the web of her thoughts that nothing productive comes of it. That's why her and I need one another, so the other can get through it.
As for the evils people do...
I flash her a smile. It's a forced one, and I'm not sure I'm particularly good at it, but levity is sometimes important for emphasizing points.
They're capable of much greater goods.
Eve smirks. My smile no longer feels forced. And then her smirk twists into smug distortion. She's such a wretched little thing.
Interesting to hear you, of all people, say that. The night we met, you couldn't stop talking about how people suck the big one.
Yosuri's internal thoughts being so wholly positive about Eve is actually a little surprising to me. But to be fair, yes, we do follow Eve as our narrator most of the time. So if Yosemite is just playing up her act so much, of course I would be surprised that she actually does think of her as a friend already, because Eve is like the entire time. Oh, fascinating. It's not a rolling chair, but I forced myself to turn in it anyway. The other see my reaction would be to admit that any of her turnarounds and comebacks actually have affected me. We can't have that. They are appearances to keep up. Appearances.
Perhaps this will surprise you, but even I am capable of having my mind changed.
Hey.
She doesn't say anything else, and I don't think she will until I acknowledge that she has something more to say. To end the game of chicken, I glance over my shoulder. Only casually, though.
It happens to the best of us.
Ooh! To the best of us. I spin back around, a hair away from asking her to follow up on that. She only nods. I chuckle. Such a lie, but I don't mind the two of us deluding ourselves together.
We're hardly the best.
Of course we are. Of the worst.
The silence that follows isn't stiff this time. It's comfortable and lovely. Like the mornings we share together. Oh my god! Like the mornings we share together. I do enjoy a good stimulating debate, but moments where nothing needs to be said are precious.
Speaking with your eyes,
Girl! Whoa! Jessie's like, are you guys aware it's like 2 in the morning? You need to go home. However, all precious things must come to an end, and this ending is brought to us by none other than Eve's supervisor herself. Jessie, I believe.
Just ignore her, Lilith. She'll eventually go away.
This is not. No. Jessie clutches her chest in agony.
please. That would really hurt. All I want to do is tease and love on you. Is that so bad?
I'd say it's a good way to knock her down to size, but maybe she's short enough as it is.
Is that your screwed up way of defending me?
No, it was an insult.
See? Me and you could have this exact same dynamic if you only let it happen, Eve.
Trust me, what me and you have is better than this.
That one stops Jessie's tampering in one swift blow, reducing her to a stuttering, borderline blubbering state.
Oh, well, thank you. Gosh, maybe I am making an impact.
She doesn't realize this was all just a way for Eve to get in a dig at me, but the compliment seems to make her happy enough, what with her restrained wiggling. Regardless, I do believe that Eve loves this woman quite a bit. I go as far as to say the appreciation may run so deep she would actually admit to it if pressed.
Anyway, girls, just wanted to let you know that this place is technically going to close soon.
However, I'm going to be doing some overtime on my actual day off anyway. So you could technically stay however long you like.
But since Eve is staff, I don't see a problem with you staying. As long as you remember to lock up afterwards.
Fancy. Now it makes sense as to why Eve is so fond of her. Jessie's wonderful! Oh, come on!
Don't just stand there, Eve. Thank the kind lady.
So yeah, tease and love on you. Yeah, no, that is correct English language. As far as I'm
kind
aware.
lady.
Thanks, kind lady.
You're welcome, rotten girl.
They both lean in for a side hug. As I do, Jessie decides it's time to take a peek over my shoulder.
So, what was it that you two were looking into again?
Someone has nosy tendencies.
Hey, cut it out. Only I can give her crap for that.
But it's so obviously true.
No wonder Eve is so careful when it comes to us. It's not far-fetched to imagine a scenario where Jessie gets just a tad too curious for her own good and finds out about me. Or found out about me. What? Sorry. Jessica's just a tad too curious for her own good and found out about me or Yellowstone or Zion.
Sorry, she's right. It's a bad habit of mine. I just thought maybe I could help you find what you're looking for. Whatever that happens to be.
These eyes warm the way over to my direction. I reply in turn, shooting her a dirty look. She does the same and it's filthier. Fine. As much as I would love to stay here for all of eternity and perhaps then some help would come in handy. No guarantee she have any idea what I'm talking about though. To be frank, it's difficult to talk about, not without thinking about that vision. The intensity of its absolute reality. After all, the only reason I was able to explain any of it to the ranger was because it was her. But if she insists on letting Jessie in on some of the happenings, I suppose I can bite the metaphorical bullet just this once. It should be easy enough to dance around any information she doesn't absolutely need to know. I sigh and give in. Jessie looks wounded by my lack of enthusiasm, but my hesitation has nothing to do with her. I'm just a private person. Creature. Thing. Whatever I am.
Over the course of my research, I briefly stumbled upon some pictures. They were of a cave somewhere in this park. I believe they're valuable to some of the information I'm presenting in my article. Unfortunately, neither me nor Eve have been able to identify the caves.
Homosexual.
Do you have the pictures with you? You could try to match them with the photos you come across here.
Already poking holes in my flimsy story. Does she do this naturally? Is she just an inquisitive soul? Goodness.
Like I said, I only saw them for a brief moment. You could say they flashed by. And I have no way of referring back to them.
How?
Ever.
Eve is shooting me annoyed looks, and if we could communicate via telepathy, I'm sure she would be giving me an earful over how crappy my lying skills are. As if she could do better.
There are lots of caves in this park. Some of the systems go on for miles. It makes sense that you're having such a hard time narrowing it down.
Jessie leaves deep proximity. At first I think she's ending the conversation without exchanging any of the usual pointless pleasantries, which more people should do, really. But then stops at a bookshelf.
But if you can't find any info on it, there's probably a pretty dang good reason.
Thank you. I hope you heard that I did not actually sneeze, right? I hope that came through. I hope the microphone picked up on that. She's let us at it sound. Oh no! I'm sorry. I did not actually sneeze. I wanted to try covering up me saying autistic with a cough. But, well. She slides out a beige folder coated with dust. With a sharp blow of her breath, all of it goes flying, like particles of time drifting to the ground.
So, unless I'm finally going batty, what you're looking for is probably closer than you think.
You think my sneeze would sound like that? I will have you know, I have a very lovely kitten sneeze, okay? Opening the folder, she takes out a thick piece of paper and begins the process of unfolding it. When she's done, it's bigger and taller than all three of our heads put together.
Is that a map of the park?
That's right, and an old one too.
I must witness.
I make grabby motions at it. Jessie ignores my plea and spreads it out on the table.
So excitable. But be careful, I'm not sure how many of these we have archived.
No. I usually have a very kind of sneeze. Except when it really completely gets me by surprise, then it will be louder. But no, I was trying to make a joke of hiding a word behind a cough. I guess I got lost.
Handling old things is my specialty.
Maybe you should try specializing in patience next.
And maybe you should try not being an empty, miserable shell.
Well, maybe you should.
Ladies! Really?
She brings out the worst in me.
You do that yourself.
The Yellowstone especially, for sure.
I take back what I said. Maybe I don't want what you two have.
The map?
Right. Every so often, management will decide to stop promoting certain areas of the park, usually because of safety or environmental concerns. This will typically involve removing trail markers and taking it off the maps we hand out.
Do you think that might be the case for the place we're looking for?
There's a good chance.
I lean out of my chair and hover over the table. The map is faded in places with torn and dog-eared corners, but it's still legible. Nearly all of the locations are places I recognize, as I should, all except for one. I pointed it.
Indian caves. What is this?
Good eye, Lilith. That's what I was about to show you.
What? How come I've never heard of it?
This park has been here longer than the 5 years you worked at it, honey.
Oh, she's only been here for 5 years. Wait, they told us that before, didn't they? They probably did, and I must have forgotten. Why do I think she was working here for longer than that? Yeah, like putting your nose into your arm. I feel like for a time it was like the new thing to do that, and people kind of adhere to it. And now it's just like, oh yeah, let's just sneeze out into the air, whatever. Not covering your nose or like. I wish I would understand the thought behind sneezing right into your hand. Like, why would you do that? Hi, Raiders. Welcome in. Hi, Spooky. Hi. Good evening. I'm new. I like the color pink. Special novels and JRPGs. We're currently playing National Park Heroes. We're at episode 4. We're trying to find out truth. You would never sneeze into your hand. Good. Very good. Hand is yucky, just do forearm. Also very true. And your mouth is only to eat burger cover. Yawn. Absolutely true. It's a great time to come in. Yes, absolutely. We'll come in. A Pikachu for the Raiders, of course.
Pikachu. Pika. Pikachu.
How was 13 Sentinels? How far along are you? I haven't actually been able to catch any of your 13 Sentinel streams aside from the very first one where you started. I'm so sad. Like, I love that game. I want to see your reactions. I need to catch up. It'll be great. Yeah, no, please. Not your hands. You get so many bacteria and stuff on your hands as well. You touch so many things with your hands. She started working there when she was 22 though. Oh yeah, I guess. Right. I'm going to be the same age as Eve this year.
Yes.
Luckily, I think I'm already subscribed to her YouTube. You'll get some enlightenment soon. Honestly, 13 Sentinels, for like 80% of the game, you're like, I have no idea what's happening. You're vibing. You have no idea what's happening. You're starting to figure out who your favorite characters are, and then stuff happens, you're like, oh, And then like, towards the end, like suddenly it all starts making sense. That was my experience with it, at least. Like, for the longest time, I was like, I have no idea what's going on. I don't know how far into it I am. All I can tell you is that you should not be pushing back the tower defense section until you absolutely can't do anything else aside from the tower defense section, because then you'll have to do like 3 hours of only tower defense until you can continue the like well, visual novel is the wrong word, but like the story segment again. Don't do that. Just do them when they pop up. Just do the one mission and be happy that you're done with it. And then go back to the story. Loves to sneeze in her hand. Ew. Please. Finish the entire first area. Should start the second one sometime soon. When you listened to that advice 2 years ago. To be fair, I still kind of want to get 13 Sentinels on the Switch because I already 100% completed it on the PlayStation. But I kind of want to get it on the Switch just for the sake of, you know, showing support and yay, more Vanillaware games over here. And also so I would have a proper reason to play to 100% again. Aside from just replaying it. But yeah, just don't push the tower defense all the way to the back. Like, oh, whatever, I'll just do everything else until it will actually lock you out of absolutely everything. Because then it's going to be exhausting to do. I have not played Unicorn Overload, and actually I don't... That's actually one of the ones I don't think I'm ever going to play, simply because of the whole... There's like, what, 15,000 characters you can have in there, and it's all different depending on who you get, and that one feels like it's a little too much for me, personally. But, maybe I'll watch someone else play it, but that one felt like too much for my mind. It looked gorgeous and handled on OLED. Oh, Mayhaps I shall look into getting it when I have some spare change then. And have a good reason to play it again. I did actually buy the Japanese like demo for it back when, before the full game release and before we got the announcement that it would release here as well. And I did get the little figurines of some characters. I do not have any of the big ones because those are expensive as hell, but I do have a good amount of stuff from the 13th Sentinels because it was a grand game. I am begging and pleading, and I would throw all my money at Vanillaware if they actually port Muramasa Demon Blade. That's all I'm asking for. Also maybe new games, but like that's all I'm asking for. If they're ever going to port any of the older games again or remake them or whatever, please give us Muramasa. Again, I will pay good money. The National Park girlies are doing fine. We're in episode 4 or 5, so we had a bunch of like more emotional talks with the other 2 girls. And right now we're actually researching in the museum's library for more information about the park, because they all had a like vision earlier, but they can't place it. They don't know what it means. So we're trying to find out more about the park. Odin Sphere on Switch? Fair. I played Odin Sphere on PlayStation. I love Vanillaware art style so much. So much. Hey, welcome back. Twitch Purgatory. I know that place. Sometimes it actually disconnects me from my own chat during stream. I'm like, okay, I am the streamer. I would like to be here. Thank you. Can confirm and prove of it.
This place used to be marked like any other area of the park. It was popular too, being so close to Lake Mirror and all. The caves were easy to explore and walk through, so it was great for kids.
But...
I hate giving your cynical side more ammo, but it's probably what you're thinking. People kept leaving their trash and camping gear there.
I would like to attend my own stream, yeah.
it was too much of a hassle for anyone to bother cleaning it up, right?
Right.
Just his tone is bleak. It's as if she regretted bringing this part up the moment it left her mouth. She must be more invested in changing East's perspective than I could have guessed. Not that I disagree with the goal, but no meaningful change will happen if you deny her the truth.
It breaks off from a trail and is pretty out of the way. You know how difficult resource management is here, so you can't really blame them.
Oh, I can. And I will.
Eve leans over the table and observes the map with me.
Lake Mirror isn't too far from here. What do you think?
That we should pay it a visit.
Maybe not during the night. Have a good night.
Now? You don't have anywhere better to be.
Just sit your cats on your keyboard and go watch a movie or something. Yeah, true. You know why I'm always so afraid of streaming when I'm like too tired or whatever? I'm always so deeply afraid of falling asleep and then having the cats run across the keyboard and doing whatever. So I'm like, no, we're not doing that. Oh, Spooky, just keep in mind, her name is not actually Lily. This is Yosemite. She's just posing as a normal human who has a PhD and is certainly not a humanoid version of a national park. She take the card? Fair. Actually, you know what? It would be better if we went with her. I just don't think she has night vision. You know, we would need to take some... we would need to take some proper gear, right? So we can see in the dark.
I'm only letting you have that one because it's true.
Excuse me, you can't go now.
There's somebody.
It's your day off, right?
Technically.
We're good. I don't have to listen to her.
Don't just ignore me after I helped you.
He folds the map. It's only after it's in her back pocket that she asks the relevant question.
Hey, Jesse, you don't mind if we borrow this, do you?
It's our day off. We don't have to listen to her. Oh, man. Only able to squeak out a series of helpless stutters, Jessie suits her head. Looks like Eve inspires migraines in more beings in the world than just me.
Fine. Just make sure to bring it back. There's supposed to be more red tape involved in this, but
Eve stops her mid-panic with a hug.
Thanks. I'll never let anything bad happen under your watch again. I promise.
Don't make promises you can't keep. Jessie's face goes blank, then her lip quivers.
You can't just say stuff like that and not expect me to.
Aww. Let us be a lesson to not work for free on a day off. So true. At least. You need to get paid for it, I swear to God. She fights back a sniffle.
Just leave, okay? Get out of here, get!
If only Jessie knew how wrong she is. She has a healthier relationship with Eve than I could probably ever hope for. After all, they're both human. I'm not.
Come on, let's go.
Eve breaks out of the hug and starts for the door.
Hold on! You can't just tell me what to do!
Should pay you extra for work on a day you were supposed to relax on. So true. So true. I want emotional labor extra money, actually. Every time I work. I should be at home relaxing. Always. This is the US though.
Just did. Now hurry up. Lake Mirror isn't that far, so it should only be a 10-minute drive.
I scramble out of the chair and catch up to her. We're almost out of the door when Jessie calls out.
And Eve, please don't blame the people who visit this park for what's wrong with it.
Coming around to people, actually. It's the lazy institutions they build I have a problem with.
Please stop screaming or shouting in the library. There's a short pause from Jessie as we exit the library. Her voice fades out as the door closes.
I'll take that as a win!
Alright. Oh, Yellowstone again.
Not to invalidate your feelings, because I know they're very important, but what part of life maybe being a dream makes you anxious? Green 5.
Oh my god. No, she said it's supposed to be closing soon. Not that it's closed yet, right? Or did I misunderstand that earlier? I'm not going to scroll all the way up to that. That was several scenes ago.
Cully, what part about it doesn't scare me? If it's true, then there's just lots of little details that pile up. Green 9.
Like what? I need to draw. 1, 2, 3, 4. Aha! Yellow 9!
Well, it's like, does that mean everyone else is dreaming too? Or are we just some other fella's dream? Oh, or maybe it's all my dream. All those things are freaky in different ways.
In one stop only, very true.
Draw 4.
So evil! Fine. 4 cards. Blue 3. What makes each of those scary to you?
Wait. Sorry, hold on.
Draw. Well, it's like.
Aha! Yellow 9.
Well, it's like
She didn't say what color she wanted. She only said draw 4.
So evil. Fine. 4 cards. Blue 3.
Sorry.
What makes each of those scary to you? If you don't mind me asking.
So what to say house rules. I guess whoever actually draws can choose whatever color they want afterwards. Can't say I've ever played with those rules before.
good gravy. You don't gotta be all polite and cred when I'm spilling my guts to ya. But if I were to try to articulate it...
It's an actual working volcano. Like the very real one that is actually in the park. Episode 2 had that one almost breaking out and we were like, oh, yeah. Articulate. She's trying to say articulate.
If it's the first one, then who are we and why are we dreaming?
Yellowstone likes her funny words and mixing them up.
If it's the second thing, then why the heck am I having dreams inside of dreams? And why do I feel so gosh darn real?
You are real.
Oh, looks like I gotta draw. 1, 2, green 3.
What about the third one?
And she's also not good at complicated words.
That one's the freakiest! Because if I'm the one dreaming, that means nobody else is real. And I'm all by my lonesome.
You're not alone. I promise that I'm real.
Mm-hmm.
I'm conscious. And I'm really consciously loving you.
Also, are you telling me they've been literally just playing Uno and having an existential... Well, Yellowstone specifically is having an existential crisis, while the other two have been in that library? Like, I'm sorry. It's just, with 2 players, Uno does get a little, repetitive after a while, not gonna lie.
I wanna believe ya. But what if the dream is just telling me to dream you saying that?
This is talking about dreams being freaky.
Oh, I can see how that could be scary. Still, I hope you can believe me. One day.
One day.
Wild card!
Oh! The Bavarian State Park or something. The what now? Hold on, wait. I don't even know what kind of parks they have in Bavaria that would be considered. But do we even have national parks in Germany? National Park, Germany. I wonder. Nationalpark Bayerischer Wald. Yeah, okay, I guess that sounds... Yeah. I guess we do. Yeah, we do. Definition von Nationalparks in Deutschland. Wait, do they have this page in English? Actually, let me check. List of national parks in Germany. The following are the 16 national parks of Germany. Oh, basically one in like every state, kind of. What? Hold on. Germany also has 14 biosphere reserves as well as 98 nature parks. Including the national protected areas, about 25% of Germany's area is national parks or nature parks. No way! I know you were joking, but we do have the Bavarian Forest National Park. I've been there before, actually. I know that one. That's funny. 16 is enough for a ham vision novel if you have him. Yeah. Oh man. We have to design some German national parks. We have 2 specifically in Bavaria. One in Baden-Württemberg, one in Rheinland-Pfalz, one in NRW. We have one in almost every state. And sometimes, yeah. And sometimes like 2 in one state. That's how it... Oh, fascinating. Alright, I did not... A national park in Finland on your current writing project. It looked pretty. Yeah. That's good enough. Wait, where's the other one that's apparently in Bavaria? Which one is that? Oh, the one that's literally on the border with Austria. Okay, okay. Fascinating. German national parks would be very different. Yeah, could I say? Oh no, Bavarian National Park would talk with the Bavarian dialect for sure. Would probably drink beer as well. Mayhaps would even wear a dirndl. That would be funny to see. That would be every single, like, what's the word? Like everything you think of when you think of Bavaria, just in one person. A horrible mishmash of any stereotype. Stereotype is what I'm looking for. Stereotype. In Scandinavia? Wow. Want to see how it looked? Wait. I will. If you tell me, I will look it up. Wait. Okay. National Park. Let me see. Second picture. Ooh. Oh yeah. I love me some pretty pictures of nature. Understandable.
No greens or threes, huh?
Yodeling as well? I think the one that's at the Austrian border, that's the yodeling one. That would be the one that yodels. 30 national parks in Sweden? Damn! Okay, so what this tells me is I need to desperately get my hands on some merchandise for National Park Girls and then drive to any of the national parks here in Germany and then take pictures. For fun. I see. I keep thinking I've been wanting to visit an aquarium and keep thinking of taking twofold merchandise with me just to go ha. But I have neither merchandise nor have I been to an aquarium. One of which you've been to before. Nice.
No.
You have the Wattenmeer National Park apparently. Wait, hold on, I still have the list open. Where is that one? What state is that in? The Wattenmeer. Wattenmeer? Yeah. Ah! That one's really big. That one's a really big park. 60-ish! Oh my god.
What makes the first reason scary?
So many national parks. And here I thought the 16 in Germany were a lot already.
Well, it definitely ain't this blue too I'm about to throw down. But I guess it's because if we're all dreaming, then that means we can't be who we are right now. We could be anything. Like little green men in a simulation.
Ooh. Or maybe we're all just the same being living over and over and over. And this doesn't end until every piece of organic existence has been experienced?
I do not like where this is going between those two. The 60-ish national parks really, really, really love you. Okay, but I had two friends tell me that the anime is actually really good. You know, the 100 girlfriends who really, really, really love you. And the art style actually looks appealing. So now I'm very intrigued to actually watch it, even though the premise does not sound like something I would enjoy. But I've had two people say it's good. So now I'm like, Greenland's national park is the biggest national park in the world, being as big as almost half the country. Oh. discourse that... Oh, actually, I haven't seen any of the discourse, so... I don't want to. I don't even want to know. Like, I'm watching the stuff that sounds interesting to me, and I don't care about anyone else. And if a friend or someone I know, like, watches the thing as well, we might talk about it, but everything else, I'm like, yeah, no, Hi, Baba, thank you for the resub. Good evening.
Are we organic?
Oh boy.
I have leaves.
You sure do.
And a yellow too.
Let me draw.
I have leaves.
What you're yakking about is pretty much what I said about all of us being some other fella's dream.
Well, isn't that close to what Yosemite believes?
You mean that complicated universal consciousness jibber-jabber that I always zone out during?
Uh-huh. Yosemite's theory is that we exist because humans are aware national parks exist, and that their awareness becomes matter. Cultural misconceptions and all.
Guess that explains my noggin.
What is it?
Red 2!
Looks like it. I wonder if there's an actual list of what cards they're playing, or if it doesn't add up.
And also, if humans made us, then who made humans?
See, now that's a question you could have people like, you know, absolutely bash hats over. It adds up, just don't bother. Why? You sound like someone who tried to bother. You sound like someone that experienced it. Hmm? Did you? Did you try? To see if it makes sense? Or did you ask? Oh no. Are they even playing Uno? What are they from?
You see the discard pile? Maybe it's like that.
Like what?
Cards.
Cards?
All the way down.
All the way down?
Cards all the way down.
What? What?
The cards stop at the table, Zion.
Huh? Okay, let's move on.
I think we're just about there. Make sure you keep up.
How about you slow down?
You snorts out deep, heavy breaths as she drags her feet behind me. Perhaps I'm going at a faster pace than usual, but it's her fault for not being able to keep up with me. Meanwhile, I'm doing the important work of guiding us in a proper direction. This map isn't too difficult to follow, but finding this trail was a task, to put it lightly. We had to park at a hotel, stumble around until we found a bike path, and then finally we found a proper path, only after missing it 3 times. By the time we had been through the whole ordeal, the night in all its blackness had crept up on us. Now the moon hangs high in the center of the sky, glowing in full, so bright it blots out the stars. A cold wind blows, rattling the leaves. If it were visible to the naked eye, I suspect it would look like a musical staff, the clefts and notes rolling through the branches. There's a darkness in the air tonight. Ominous thickness I can't place. As we get closer to the caves, the feeling only gets heavier. The butterflies and excitement I felt in my stomach when we left the library have slithered straight to my head, morphing into throbbing anxiety. There are only 2 options before me now. I will find truth, or I will find none. The possible implications of both scare me. I slow my pace until I stop. Eve catches up, only to continue past me. When she realizes I'm not moving, she pauses and glances back.
Something up? You had all the piss and vinegar in the world in you a few minutes ago.
You guys could hold hands, and then you could match paces, and you would both not be as scared. Saying. I press my lips, but talk anyway. Fear's never kept me quiet before.
Should we turn back?
She continues on, but I don't follow. Her shoulders heave down in a sigh. She turns around.
No, because you'd regret it.
How are you so sure?
Because I'd never let you hear the end of it.
They are in Yosemite National Park. Now, the game, for most of what we've seen so far, does take place in Yosemite National Park. That's where Eve actually works. So it's her own park, actually. Can Yosemite stay hydrated with the water from her hair? You know, first thought would be no. Actually. But I don't know. Can you stay hydrated with your sweat? No, you can't. Otherwise it would be a fascinating eternal cycle and we wouldn't have the problem of dehydration. Even if the moon wasn't bright, I'd be able to see her expression clearly. Just one of the many small differences that makes me inhuman. But when I see her serious deadpan face spotlighted by the moonlight, I know that, maybe even more so than the information I received tonight, is truth. Oh, so she does see in the night. She has night vision. I wasn't sure. Eve lies to herself, but I know she doesn't lie to me. So now I follow her. Deep into the dark woods we go, away from the Yosemite that I am and know. Night has never seemed so still before. Not a single animal is rustling about in bushes, no night birds in trees, just a silent dark daring us to go further. I look at the map and let my dread do the guessing as to how far away we are. How many more steps will it take until the unknown becomes known? 10? 100? Will we be one of these woods forever? Maybe Eve won't, but I think I will. That is my fate after all, to haunt this place. I always thought that I exist to speak for this park, but perhaps I'm only here to be its ghost, wailing and moaning until enough people have returned to the dirt that their descendants forget this place. If that's my purpose, then I am destined to cycle through it over and over, like a cog. Except I won't stop spinning until the whole machine breaks down.
Think this is the place?
Eve stops. We've reached our destination whether I like it or not.
Why ask questions you already know the answer to?
Because I know you'll give me one, regardless of whether I want it.
Eve shines a flashlight on a cave, and it isn't much of a cave at all. Nothing as romantic as being carved into the side of a mountain or hill as if you're entering the jaws of fate. Instead, it's merely boulders stacked on top of boulders. How they got there is a mystery unknown to time or myself, but they've been there long enough to have grown moss, to have merged with the ancestral ground. Openings, big enough for a person to slide into, reveal themselves between the rock's jagged shapes. Thin trees guard the various entrances, their wilted and solemn forms extending far into the night sky.
You ready?
Actually, what I'm wondering is technically, now that she knows where this place is, wouldn't she be able to, like, teleport them back to the cabin? Like, if it's like, oh, it's already so late at night, I don't want to drive anymore. And she could teleport them home, and then the next morning she could teleport them back there and get the car. Yes! Okay.
No, let's get on with it.
I march onwards past Eve. She draws in a deep breath, whether it's supposed steadying or just her usual exasperation getting the worst of her, I can tell. Quick snap beneath her boots as she follows me. The entrance is half blocked off by a rock the size of the bear you would expect to sleep in this cave. Big enough to slip through with some persistence, but not comfortable. I signal Eve in its direction. She points a flashlight down into the cave. It illuminates a small space with warm light, only getting more narrow the further along it goes. Peering in, it looks like a dim, cozy chapel.
Unless you're in the mood to get stuck, there's no way that'll fit both of us.
I glance into the cave. The light wobbles and secret corners get dark as the flashlight shakes in Eve's hand. A deep frown stains her cheeks. And I secretly hope it's pity. It would be nice to be pitied.
Well, here goes everything.
I take the first step through the mouth of the cave, listening to the sweet lullaby of the crickets. The warmth of Eve's breath brushes against the nape of my neck.
Please don't leave.
Ooh! Not that I could with how stunned I am, but she doesn't even give me time to answer before she wiggles and drops down into the cave. Idiot. You can go anywhere within the park in a blink of an eye. It wouldn't matter if I did. But even then, I've already spent 5 years at this job. 5 years with you. I can't just get up and leave. Not yet. Yosemite dusts herself off as she inspects the inside of the cave. She places her hand against the rock and traces it over the walls as if absorbing some unsaid knowledge it possesses. Oh god. I have my Discord sounds off. All of them. The message sounds especially because I hate that one. So whenever any like video or whatever uses it, I'm like Yeah, no, you're fake. A freezing spike drills through my heart. My vision goes dead black, flickering like a bad signal. Oh god. I clutch my chest, squeezing it until the pain fades. When it's gone, my vision returns. Yosemite gasps. She yanks away her hand.
It's just like earlier. Yosemite! What did you see?
I could really go for the comfort of a smartest answer right about now, but I don't get a luxury. Instead, she turns to me, her stern eyes swimming with fear, breath heavy.
I'm going deeper.
Oh no.
You're what?
She walks further in.
Yosemite?
Slipping past the wall, she disappears into the darkness beyond the warm comfort of the flashlight.
Yosemite!
No answer.
You're such a pain.
Just how out of my depth am I? I don't understand any of this. Every part of me wants to go in after her, and yet, I don't know. It feels like there's something inside of me, something that's not me. It's not talking, it's not speaking, it's not echoing through my head, but it wants me staying put. It doesn't want me messing with things that aren't intended for me, to leave the secrets to the seekers. Like Yosemite, I guess. Maybe what's communicating all this to me is Yosemite. It feels like her scolding, the talking down to. God help me if she can spread the will of her ego without even saying a word.
Fine! I'll wait! You hear that? I'll wait!
My voice bounces through the cave. Again, no answer, but this time I feel like one wasn't intended. I wonder if I'm in some asylum somewhere, hallucinating all of this. Yosemite, Yellowstone, Zion. Maybe cracking that guy in the skull is what finally broke my mind. Or better yet, this is just a dream. All of it. It'd be a pretty wonderful dream then. Crouched on this rock like some kind of woodland goblin, I gaze up at the guardian tree circling the cave. I click the flashlight off. It's me, the night, and the wind. Eventually my eyes adjust and I can see the top of the trees. A bird is perched on a branch, sleeping, a silhouetted cloud drifting through the sky. My heart is beating, my chest is breathing, my head is spinning, and I'm aware of all of it. It makes me uneasy, but sometimes it feels nice to be uneasy. Yeah. Yeah. Sometimes it's nice to feel uneasy. Absolutely spine-chilling scream. Thank you. Also for the higher time, pause to check and have. Let's go help. A scream bellows out of the caverns of the cave. First dull and tinny, then sharp and resonant as the sound escapes the entrance and steps my ears.
Yosa!
Only a few precious syllables spill out of my mouth before I'm silenced. Sharp pain is back. It gunshots into my chest. Oh god. Yosemite's scream hasn't stopped. It keeps going, breathlessly, into eternity. Black, static, vision. I'm outside the cabin. I can see Yellowstone and Zion sitting at a table through the window.
Guys!
My vision is stolen from me again. The pain shoots back up with a vengeance. Static. Endless static. Sight. Now I'm in the middle of a clearing. I recognize this place. It's where the fire happened. Those campers, the cigarettes, Yosemite.
What is this?
Darkness, static, and pain, screaming, right into my eardrum. I stand in the middle of the replica village, right outside the sweat lodge. A museum looms over it. Its peering windows and wide doors form together to look like a violent face. The location cycles, Yosemite screams. All of this happens again and again and again and again and again and again. All I want is for it to end. It doesn't. I clap my hands over my ears, shut my eyes tight. Everything is out of control. Everything is out of my control. This is all I can do. And I'll do it forever if I have to. Forever. God. Please end. This pain can't be forever. Please don't trap me like this forever. My feet stumble. I catch myself with my left foot. My right knee crashes onto a rock. I'm kneeling. I wait for another cycle to happen, but it doesn't. Is it over? I lower my hands from my ears. When I open my eyes, I realize I'm back to the entrance of the cave, sitting on the rock like I've been there the entire time. The screaming has stopped. Now all I feel is a tangible pain in my knee, not the one in my heart.
What the hell?
My chest heaves in and out. I could sit here forever and catch my breath. Probably cry too, but my throat is too dry. Oh shoot, what about...
Yosemite?
I'm ready to dive into the cave when a hand clutches the sleeve of my pants.
Eve?
Oh my god. Her voice is raw, shaking between deep sobs. She's laying down next to me, her free arms slung over her face. Her sleeve is soaked with tears.
What happened?
I lean in and grab her shoulder. All it takes is one attempt to drag her up to know that she's not moving anytime soon. Her mouth moves, but the words don't even come out as a whisper. They may not even be words.
What?
I forgot.
You forgot? That's not gonna cut it. I need some answers.
No! I forgot. Just like Zion. Who I was. What I knew. Everything.
Just like Zion.
That would mean you used to be different.
Someone else. Now I'm not.
She chokes between heavy sobs.
And it's just going to keep happening.
I try to set out a response, but nothing comes.
It's just going to keep happening.
The wind picks up, tossing my hair and any leaves that have fallen off the trees. It's a silent night, so in its place Yosemite wails. Ah. Oh no, and we're back to the Uno game?
Reverse!
Oh, Jesus.
Reverse!
Ah!
Reverse! Reverse!
Oh, what?
Reverse!
But if you're reversing when it's a two-person game, wouldn't that mean that the person who put down the reverse actually has a turn immediately again? So...
Reverse!
What are we doing?
Seriously, Petus, why does this always end up happening?
Are these two aware of any of the rules of Uno? Do they just put down whatever?
No offense, Yellowstone, but you were the one who combined 4 decks together.
I see. I see.
For quadruple the fun!
It changes direction, but... Oh, yeah, true. Right, reverse only changes direction. I guess if you put down the one where you block someone, it would be your turn again immediately.
This is still fun to you? All it's doing now is
This is fun to you? We've been doing this for 7 hours.
How do you think I feel? All that turtle jibber jabber you were going on about is still zipping over my head. I'm out for lunch. By the way, you only have 1 card left, and since I pointed it out, you gotta draw 2 more. Sorry, cutie. Them's the rules.
Jeez. You really know how to push my buttons when we play games. You know that?
The turtles, Zion! The turtles!
I'm going to try and explain this one more time. Are you ready?
Let's rattle.
So it's like how I explained it with the cards in the discard pile. Cards all the way down.
Makes you draw 7? Oh, no. I also know if you know someone needs to point out that you didn't say Uno, you need to draw 2 more.
Okie dokie.
Now, with that in mind, let's assume the entire world is on the back of a turtle.
Mm-hmm.
Far out. Does he have a name?
No. The turtle is just an example. It could be any animal.
Ooh, could it be a buffalo then? They're so fluffy and huggable. I just want to squeeze them.
I think she's gonna explode sometime soon.
Okay. It's a buffalo.
Yes.
The buffalo can't stand on its own in space, So naturally, there would have to be something beneath it. In this case, another buffalo.
But wouldn't that mean that other buffalo would have to start standing on something too?
Just creature.
Can you guess what it is?
Another buffalo.
Another buffalo? Red 3.
That's right! And it just keeps going and going.
There can't be that many buffalo. They almost went extinct.
I am going to fucking shake you.
It's just a special way to think about things, Yellowstone. You asked what made humans if humans made us. And I guess that's my answer. It could be something else, on top of something, on top of something else. Or it could be a dream. Or maybe it's nothing at all. I don't really know.
Then what does that mean for us? It doesn't make any sense. And it scares me, you know?
I'm so...
Oh, I have an Uno! Blue 3! Blue 7! I win!
No!
I win. It just doesn't make a lick of sense to me. What's the point of living if you don't know nothing while you're doing it? It just seems hopeless.
Does there need to be a point?
Huh? Of course there does. Every camper that cruises through here has one. They got hobbies or nice families. Even Evo has her job. You think it'd be easier for us being parks and all. All we gotta do is help folks get back to nature and look pretty while doing it. We should be jam-packed with purpose. But it sure don't feel like it. Ain't there a reason we're here?
Big Bang. I don't like to think about things like that. Like, I'm living, and my life is already complicated enough as it is. I'll just try to make the best of it. That's enough work already.
There might be. But why should it be up to us to figure it out?
Well, Yosemite's always trying to do it.
Yosemite is Yosemite. Let her do what she needs to do to make herself happy. Does dwelling on this make you happy?
No. Feels pretty crummy, actually. That don't mean I can't think about it, though.
I know. It's not that easy. But what about the things that do make you happy? Can you think about those?
Oh, sure. I can do that till the cows go moo.
You survive to the end of all living things. Honestly.
Can you tell me some of them?
Being here with my precious Earth Angel is one of them. I can tell you that.
Being with you makes me happy too.
Yay!
And I think just being here now is a lot more important than worrying about all that other stuff. Because here isn't forever. Not even for us.
Zion! I don't know if I can change what scares me lickety-split or anything sudden like that. It's all so whack.
It is whack.
But if vibing here with me is good enough for you, then by golly, I'm gonna try and make it good enough for me.
Hell yeah.
It might take a long time.
Daughters don't care.
Well, as long as the thing on top of my head don't explode, I think I'll be okay. It's a good excuse to dilly-dally, at least.
And if you want, we can have more talks like this. We can play more Uno, too.
That'd be swell! Could we play another round now?
Sure. Let's take out some of the reverse cards, though.
Oh, such a stick in the mud. But okay.
Phew.
Alright, so... I was about to say, are the other two who are slightly traumatized going to come home now? Oh, no, that was during...
Say, did you hear something?
Oh! Fascinating.
No? I felt something though.
Probably just the sting of defeat.
If only.
That's very rude. You'll eat those words. Slowly. To prevent indigestion.
To prevent indigestion.
You're on. Oh, but before that, I have another question.
By all means.
So, what's the deal with eternity?
Oh my god, Yellowstone. Can we take one existential question at a time? Okay. Dear Teddy, not much has changed on my front since I hastily jotted down last night's events. I just wanted to get it all on paper in case I needed to remember anything. It was a moot point though, I still remember everything vividly. Yosemite cried for a long time. I didn't think she would ever stop crying. All I could do was sit there and watch like some kind of idiot. Maybe I'm even more callous than I thought I was. Or maybe I don't know how to handle other people having emotions. She's comforted me before with a hug even. Why wasn't I able to do the same for her, I wonder? When she finally calmed down a little, she explained to me some of the things she saw. It was exactly like she said. She's just like Zion, right down to living an entire existence she had completely forgotten about. The deeper she went into the cave, the more the past would enter her. Is that why I got stuck in that cycle? It felt like whenever they teleport me somewhere except worse. I must be getting too close. Could be why their visions are sticking to me. Maybe Yosemite just got too close to the truth. Regardless, we're both out of our league. She knew people, tribes of them. She could speak the language. They knew her. One of them was a girl. Yosemite smiled when she said that she reminded her of me. I haven't seen her smile since. This girl had a name for her, Avani. She told me about how they would often go to the same cave we went to last night, to hide and visit and argue with each other. Yes, she was an argumentative brat before she ever even met Zion. Before a lot of things. What am I doing here, Teddy? I'm so out of my depth, I may as well be drowning in the ocean. It's not like the girls know that much more than I do. They exist, but they're just along for the ride. I'm scared because I don't know what's going to happen next. Yosemite hasn't left the couch since we got home last night. As I'm writing this, she's still there, a blanket pulled over her head, research untouched. This is the first morning where the table seat opposite from me has been empty, or I've been unopposed. About as good of a human as I am a ranger. Yes, I dusted off my phone to look up what Avani means. It's Miwok for Big Mouth. If that was her name, I can't think of anything more fitting. I hope I didn't butcher that pronunciation horribly. I flipped Teddy shut and tapped my fingers on his cover. Yosemite is completely submerged by a blanket. If it weren't for her feet dangling over the armrest, I wouldn't even be able to tell she was there. Wish I could say something, know that I can't. I just hope she bounces back. I don't want to face these things alone either.
Miss Eve?
Yeah? A silent squeak drags me out of the depths of my thoughts. We haven't told her or Yellowstone about what went down last night, so for them it's business as usual. I don't know if it's moral to hide it from them, but I think they're better off not knowing.
What is it?
My voice is a dry gravel on account of the sleep I didn't get last night.
Do you happen to know where Pup is? I can't find him anywhere. He'll miss his breakfast.
I hate to say it, but he had completely slipped my mind. It's a pressing matter, but yesterday was filled with those.
Now that you mention it, I haven't seen him since I got off work yesterday. I'll go out and look for him in a bit. He doesn't wander too far.
Thank you. I'm just worried is all.
When are you not?
When everything is perfect.
Ain't nothing ever perfect. Dollface here knows that better than anybody.
Yellowstone comes bobbing over from the stove, carrying a platter of pancakes in her hand.
Is there a criticism of me you'd like to share, Yellowstone?
Darn tootin', you're nothing but stick and bones. Now have a stack of flapjacks. They go all the way down.
Yellowstone winks at Zion. Zion responds with an uncomfortable smile like an embarrassed kid whose parents just complimented them in front of their friends. What a couple of weirdos.
Thanks, but I'm not hungry.
Aw, you should eat something though.
You've got to be yanking my chain. You've never turned down my flapjacks before.
Feel like crap. Sorry.
Well, somebody's gotta eat these flapjacks. Yosemite turned her nose up to them, too.
Oh, yeah?
Mm-hmm. She didn't even look at us when we asked.
The mopping blanket pile on the couch ruffles around.
Let me give it a shot.
I climb to my feet and swipe the platter from Yellowstone. Her and Zion shoot each other concerned glances.
Hey, Tree.
I go to the front of the sofa and crouch where I think Yosemite's face might be hidden.
You want food?
She tucks the blanket further over her head and rolls onto her other side.
Don't you know it's rude to be a pain in the ass when someone's trying to keep you from starving?
At first I'm certain I'm not going to get an answer. Then I get something. Oh!
I don't need food. It's fine.
Well, I'll take that of a silence at least.
Eve, it's me. Open up.
Uh-oh. The familiar sound of Jessie calling out from my porch breaks through the cabin. Not nearly as cheerful as usual, though. What's she doing here? She always radios me before dropping by. I sigh and set the platter down on the coffee table.
Just let me know when you're ready to sort through all this.
I whisper to Yosemite, then rise to a slightly higher whisper for the rest of them.
You guys should split for a while. Looks like duty is calling.
Aye, aye! Come on, girls. Let's make like a bee and buzz off.
Yellowstone grabs Zion's hand. The two of them rush over to the couch and force Yosemite's hand out of the blanket long enough to hold it. They disappear from the room before I can blink.
Adams, I know you're in there. You open this goddamn door right now.
Jesus! Oh god. Uh-oh. What's her damage? She was as bubbly as usual last night.
Coming!
I sprint over and grab the doorknob. The door bursts open. Jessie comes charging through it. She clutches my shoulders and pins me against the kitchen counter. Her fingernails dig through my shirt. Oh god.
What the hell, Jessie?
Shut up. I should be the one asking you that, okay?
Her grip gets looser and her voice shakes. She turns her head up and looks at me. Her eyes are wet, cheeks are puffy. My heart drops like an anchor.
What happened?
That coyote puppy of yours? The one I told you not to feed. You remember that, Eve?
I knew it. The words don't come out at first, and when they do, they're mostly broken.
Jessie, what happened? What happened to Pup?
Oh, God. You named it, too? For Christ's sake, Eve.
She chuckles a fake laugh to herself and takes a breath.
Listen to me. It wandered into camp yesterday. There was a girl. 6 years old, Eve. 6 years old. She got a little too close.
No!
I'm almost blubbering at this point. We both are. Please don't let it get worse.
3 fingers.
No!
Listen to me. 3 fingers. It was too late by the time they got to Fresno. They had to amputate.
Cabin door swings in the wind. There aren't any campers in the forest across the clearings. As far as I know, the trees could go on forever. Dear Teddy, what have I done? Is that how we're ending episode 4? No! So we don't get like no, there's no choices in this game. You're just along for the ride. We don't get a little in between. Because I do not have the time to finish the entirety of episode 5. So I don't wanna Fuck. My life. Yeah, that's the thing, right? Usually we have a little scene in between. But why would they show us the... I love the tiny noodle crystal. I know! You can get it, actually. I think the link, oh my god, the link is a few years old at this point, but I think the link that is somewhere in the depths of my Discord is still works if you wanted to get a little noodle cursor for yourself. But no, I guess, is there... Well, it is all of the CGs for the chapter, right? Unlock the last CG of episode 2. Unlock the first last CG of episode 3. Finished episode 3. No, the last one we got was Memories of Yosemite. Got haunted by the past. There is one for completing episode. Oh yeah, Dear Teddy, you're screwed. Oh, never mind. Yeah, we did get that one. Just now. Okay. Ah, fellow cliffhanger haters. No, I get it, but also I do not. And I like, yes, we could read for a little more into chapter 5, but I feel like that would be even worse. I feel like that would be even worse because then I would have to stop somewhere in the middle of chapter 5. At least this way we can say, okay, next time, so tomorrow is next time. Tomorrow we can go into chapter 5. And I'll see if I can maybe start stream slightly early. Play some Might Supreme. It's alright, it's alright. I had a feeling something with the pub would be coming up at some point towards the end though. Because, yeah, it is a coyote. It is a coyote, not a dog. That's not something you should keep around if it gets used to humans. Oh yeah. See, I usually don't play games that have like a chapter to chapter basis unless I'm like super involved in something. Because last time I did that was during Life is Strange, when the original Life is Strange came out. And I am to this day still very disappointed in the ending of Life is Strange. So imagine my disappointment when, like, I think I told the story before several times actually. Actually, two friends of mine, they were both waiting on me to come home after school so we could all like get started on episode or chapter, like the last one. And we were all just massively disappointed in the ending of the game. Like, it was all of those months of playing and fangirling about it, and then that ending, or those endings, and everything that adapted, and we were like, wow, really? So I'm a little... I want to read everything in one go as much as possible. Coyote Trickster God that can't be trusted. Show in the middle of the library scene, so I was poking fun at it while playing, and then the 7. Oh! Did episode 5 take a long time too? From Life is Strange? I think so, yeah. It's been such a long time though. What I didn't like about Life is Strange is how, you know, the entire premise of the game was always like, oh, your choices matter. And I mean, they do, right? Like, during the course of the entire game, you do get very different scenes depending on how you go about it. There's, like, actual, like, oh my god, depending on what you do, a character might even die, that kind of thing, blah, blah, blah. But then, spoiler alert for Life is Strange, I guess, for anyone who is not aware. It's been a few years now, but still. you have two endings. No matter what you have done the entire time up to the very last choice in the game, it doesn't fucking matter. You get the same ending choice, which is either save the town or save the girl. And even then, you can tell by how it goes that the actual canon ending is saving the town. So it doesn't even matter that you've repeatedly rewound time and done everything in your power and seen different timelines even, because I really went all out on the whole how much you can do with time power. You even saw a timeline where this girl you've been kind of trying to save since the beginning of the game was a completely different timeline where you jumped even further back to change something just to find out, oh no, she kind of just always is fucked over in the end. Like, she dies. And if she does not die, then some weird giant cyclone or whatever comes to tear up the town where you live. So if you end up choosing to save her by the end, you drive away, but the cyclone is still approaching and you know that the town will get all blown up and blah blah blah. You will always have to be on the run because she cannot for some reason live according to the universe or whatever. Or you go save the town and you reverse everything back to, you know, she just gets shot in the school bathroom by a fucking asshole. No, see, Life is Strange technically is about lesbians. That's the entire thing, right? That was all it was. And then they made a few more games. And just more recently, they came out with a sequel to the first Life is Strange, which features the same protagonist as the first one. Only for them to treat the whole, you know, they were in love, they were dating, whatever. They were an actual couple as this whole side thingy. Oh yeah, they were friends. You reversed time. You traveled through different timelines for this girl. You have the choice to go and say fuck you to the whole universe for trying to keep her alive and whatever. Even if it's not the intended canon ending, blah blah blah. And then they make a sequel years after and they go, oh yeah, we were good friends. Huh? Which fucks me up, because I know Don't Nod are very good in writing queer romance. Or queer stories, I guess. Sorry. I have played a few of the other games, and they can do it. So I don't know what happened exactly with specifically the original Life is Strange and the... I don't know what it's called. But the newest one that came out, which features Max at like 30 now? I think she's 30. I haven't played the newest one. I will say this. So I don't want to rant too much about it because I haven't actually seen it for myself and I don't want to reiterate just points I've read about. But I was deeply disappointed in the original Life is Strange's ending. Like, I was a big fan for the entirety of the game while playing it. And then, you know, the original ending just, like, I was so pumped for it, and then this one came out. And I'm like, no. Is it though? I think it very much is still published by... I don't know. Wait, hold on. Life is Strange, Double Exposure. Oh no, it's developed by Deck 9 Games. That's oh, you're right. I guess that is a different studio. My bad. Right. Studio from the remaster collection. Oh. Yeah, I haven't played the remastered versions either. I can only talk about how disappointed I was by the ending of the original Life is Strange. There was also one specific choice in the original Life is Strange that I just never understood. Like, there's this one guy who definitely has a crush on our main character, Max. And she does not reciprocate this at all, ever. Like, no. And then there's one scene in the last chapter where, oh, you know, the world is ending, you can kiss him. I'm like, why? The entire game, she has never shown any attraction to this guy. We are still very much actively trying to save our very much girlfriend here. Why do I have the option to kiss? Oh, it's just a choice, you don't need to use. Why do I have the option? I've forgotten many other things about Life is Strange, but this one is still active in my mind. I'm sorry, I have not gotten over it. It has been, hold on, when did the original Life is Strange come out? 2015. It has been 10 years. Actually, genuinely, because it released in January 2015. I'm still not over it. Yeah, exposure. Do not pay artists with exposure. Please pay them with actual money. A 3D isometric walking simulator. Oh, I do love me a good walking simulator though. This could be our last night on Earth. No, I don't know. I'm just... No, I'm just still mad about it. I haven't played the other Life is Strange games though. There is one entire game as like a prequel story about the girl we're trying to save that I own, but I haven't gotten around to playing yet. I also remember that there were fans that made a little visual novel about you being able to date even more of the girls, which was fun. It was nice. Restructuring Studio doing it after the last chapter. Oh, definitely. Definitely. I will probably watch someone else's playthrough and see for myself, because I am kind of interested in seeing what they did with it. But now reading that it's not even the same people anymore, and all of the negative stuff I've heard about, I'm like, okay, I'm not sure. Should just make the girls kiss. Yeah, right? Right? But yeah, it's been 10 years and I'm still holding a grudge. It's been 10 years, I'm still holding a grudge. Well, if I manage to get around to it sometime soonish, I will let you guys know. Chapter 5 also has some weird kind of survival sequence that I still... Yeah, no, hold on, one more thing. There's this kind of survival sequence thingy in Chapter 5 where you find out, like, where you know some kind of nightmare sequence of like a bunch of guys and also, oh, the big bad. Blah, blah, blah. But it's like actual stuff that is there, and also the guy you can kiss in the last chapter for some reason is also in there, which just made him even less likable to me, because it's like, okay, you know, all of the other characters that are present in this weird nightmare sequence, you already know they're assholes, but he's also present there, and then she still has the option to kiss him. Like, she's not attracted to this guy, she doesn't reciprocate his crush. Why is this option there? Get me out of here. Please. Let me go kiss the girl that has dyed blue hair. I don't care about anyone else. Just SpongeBob localization team for an episode I had back in 2011. You know what? Spite is a very, very good motivator. And I will say I have managed to get more stuff done just out of spite. And I would recommend that to everyone. A healthy amount of spite will let you get things done. Kiss a girl with blue hair and pronouns. Yes, actually. Just out of spite, I will write my own story about kissing a girl with blue hair and pronouns. Yes. So actually, you know what? Let me write that down. For my goals, this year I shall write a story about kissing a girl with blue hair and pronouns. Right? Story about kissing girl with blue hair. Yeah. And pronouns. Exclamation mark. Don't forget the pronouns. I would never. The original creators of Life is Strange apparently released Lost Records Bloom and Rage. Yes, actually, I have that on my wish list because I saw the original trailer and it looked interesting. It's also currently on sale. It literally just released last week, 18th of February. When it comes to games by Don't Nod, we have actually played... we've played Jusant just recently, right? That's also by Don't Nod. And we have played Tell Me Why. And Tell Me Why, in my opinion, was a lovely game. It's also still free to play. At 3 episodes. They do love the episodic stuff, apparently. Oh, Jusant is actually on 50% off sale right now. For anyone who's planning on getting to climbing. Fun. Okay, now that we've gotten over the cliffhanger that I'm going to leave you guys on. For this. Let me see. Where we're gonna go for tonight. And then we'll finish this game tomorrow. You need to make some more progress on your novel. See, sometimes I think I should write down the brainworms I have about my OCs somewhere, but then I'm like, oh god, I cannot put it into words. Remember me. Remember me? Wait. Remember me? Is Remember Me by... Remember Me is not by Don't Nod though, is it? Oh, it is! It's just not counted in the collection. That's weird. If you... Okay, that doesn't make any sense. Because it's published under Don't Nod Entertainment, it's not actually listed in the Don't Nod collection. If you click on, Life is Strange and you go check out... No, never mind. Oh, whatever. Whatever. I don't know. All I know is I still hold grudges against games I played 10 years ago. And I will keep doing that. Look at how storytelling is their strong point. Maybe, yeah. I think I've watched someone play Remember Me many years ago. It was okay. I think I don't actually remember. I will have to admit I don't actually remember. It's been such a long time. Maybe it also wasn't that good because I don't remember, but I wouldn't know. I wouldn't know. What I do know is that Camille is playing Tavern Talk. And as a local Tavern Talk lover and enjoyer, I will send you guys over to Camille. I failed to do what the title... Yeah, I did fail to do what the title says. I do remember that I saw someone play it, for sure. I watched a playthrough, but God forbid I would remember who and when and why. You want to finish writing this to make it public? Fair. I do love reading. If you ever need a better reader for anything, hit me up. I love reading. But yeah, thank you for coming by tonight, everyone. We will finish this one tomorrow, but I will try to start stream a little early. I'll see if how dinner goes and everything, so I can try and start a little early, and then we will get to this cliffhanger and figure out what's happening. Hell yeah. But for now, this is going to be it. I am pressing many buttons at once. I wish all of you a very, very good night, even if it's still the middle of the day. Thank you for coming by. I'll see you all soon. And bye-bye.
はい、バイバイ。